After losing their Big East opener, the Hurricanes have rattled off 5 straight victories over conference competition. Last week, a 38-10 win over Pittsburgh at the Orange Bowl. As running back Edgerrin James accounted for 3 Hurricane touchdowns, it sets up the title showdown against Syracuse. Miami will have to deal with Donavan McNabb, a legendary quarterback in upstate New York. Completing his senior season, his final game at the Carrier Dome, the Orange want to send him out a winner. On offense, the Canes have been balanced all season long. Edgerrin James racking up his 2nd consecutive 1,000-yard season, the first Miami back ever to do that. And Scott Covington has had an outstanding senior season, 16 touchdown passes, and Miami is 4-0 on the road under Covington's leadership. It's the game for the Big East title, Miami at Syracuse, next here on Sports Channel. From the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, Sports Channel presents Miami Hurricanes football. Tonight, the Big East title is on the line as the Canes battle the Orangemen of Syracuse. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Forts. I'll tell you what's happening. As usual, my partner John Congemi will tell you why. And John, if the scoreboard operator here at the Carrier Dome doesn't have his finger on the trigger, he might fall behind because they've got 2 of the highest scoring teams in the NCAA. Syracuse 5th in the country in scoring. Miami is 9th.
These 2 teams offensively, Frank, are not bashful about putting the football into the end zone. They can do it with regularity, and they have fun on offense. You see, they're very comparable on both sides. Very high-scoring, high-powered offenses. These guys know what to do with the football. They can take advantage of turnovers. These offenses can really move the football down the field, and not only field goals, but for touchdowns.
And 2 senior quarterbacks, Donavan McNabb for Syracuse, Scott Covington for Miami. Quarterbacks who took 2 very different paths. McNabb's been a 4-year starter. Covington has started in only his senior season, but he is certainly making up for lost time.
But what a spectacular job Scott Covington has done. He's completed over 60% of his passes, a great ratio with touchdowns and interceptions, 16-6, but he plays big in big games, and doesn't get any bigger than for the Big East title. Against West Virginia, he throws a touchdown pass to Darryl Jones that was huge down the stretch. That's exactly what the team needed. They stuck it in the end zone. They couldn't settle for a field goal. Scott Covington is having a terrific senior season.
He certainly has 2 very different quarterbacks style-wise. Scott more of a classic drop-back passer, where McNabb, he runs the option, he runs quarterback draws. They move the pocket. They do a lot of things with this great athlete.
He does just about everything, and he does it at a high level. You see his passes completed 63% of his passes, and an even better ratio, 20 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. But he's most dangerous outside of the pocket when he's tucking the football down and running it, as he does here last year against the Canes. A quick hitter up the middle, quarterback draw. He goes in untouched for a touchdown. He has 5 touchdowns rushing this season and over 300 yards rushing. This guy can do it all, and he's most dangerous when he's outside the pocket. Now, that's a job that Nate Webster is going to have to do, the middle linebacker from Miami. He's going to have to spy on Donavan McNabb and try to limit his big play production. If he can do that, the Canes should be successful on defense.
Well, the onus certainly is on the Hurricane defense, a much improved group over a year ago, especially against the run. And if you can't stop Syracuse's run, you've got no chance to beat this team.
I think Miami really has gotten a lot more aggressive on defense, and it all starts in the middle. Nate Webster, Dan Morgan, and especially that defensive front. You see the points per game, 18.2 points on an average. That's very good. Miami's doing a nice job on defense. Derek Ham could be a key on the outside. He has to get to Donavan McNabb, maybe force him into some turnovers. He's the team leader with sacks. He has to do a good job, but they have to swarm to the football, especially today in a hostile environment at the Carrier Dome.
And it's how Miami overcomes adversity, because they will face some in this game, and they've already faced one thing. Reggie Wayne, their star wide receiver, injured a knee in practice this week. He is done for the season. We'll see how that affects the Hurricane offense. It's all on the line today. The Big East title at stake. Miami here at Syracuse. It's all coming up next here on Sports Channel. University of Miami football on Sports Channel is being brought to you in part by Bell South and its international family of customers. By Grand Prize Chevrolet Oldsmobile, located in Miami, where Jimmy Johnson does business. By Office Depot. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense. By Citgo. Depend on Citgo when it counts. By Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. And by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. From the Carrier Dome in Syracuse University, it's Big East football. The Miami Hurricanes taking on the Orangemen of Syracuse. The winner claims the Big East title. It is an emotional day here at Syracuse. Paul Pasqualoni, the Orange head coach, and he is saying goodbye to a dozen very significant seniors today, not the least of which Donavan McNabb, who just moments ago when he was introduced to the crowd, John, on senior day, came flying out of a pack of players and just jumped into the arms of the rest of the seniors. There's going to be a lot of emotion early in this game for Syracuse, and I think for Miami, one of the keys will be how they can counteract that emotion and how they overcome adversity, because this Syracuse team is going to score. I mean, they're going to move the football. It's how Miami can bounce back from adversity they face. For example, in the West Virginia game, they were down early 14-3, but hung in the game, came back and won it, gave themselves a chance to win at the end and did. I think that's going to be a huge key for Miami today.
Well, especially in this building, Butch Davis and that Miami Hurricane team, they're going to have to find a way to score early, because as loud as this stadium can get, that's how quiet it can get when you score first and you get on top of Syracuse early. So that's really what Miami has to do, Frank. Come out, establish himself on offense, really play tough defense, and it looks like Syracuse is going to get the ball first. Miami's going to get a shot on defense to come out, set the tone early, and get good field position for their offense.
Syracuse did win the toss, and they elected to take the football right away, put it in the hands of Donavan McNabb. Now, not only McNabb, but their two other top offensive players, Kevin Johnson, number 12, the wide receiver, and Rob Conrad, the stout fullback, number 44, who Butch Davis believes has a certain future in the NFL. Those are the guys I'm going to put, if I'm Syracuse, I'm going to put the game in the hands of McNabb, Johnson, and Conrad.
And they're all seniors too, Frank, and it all starts with the ringleader, number 5, Donavan McNabb. He's the guy that can make it happen with his legs, with his option, or with his arm standing in the pocket. He can beat you with his arm. He does a great job distributing the football, and as you said, Conrad and Kevin Johnson, those are the two guys they have to watch out for, especially on the perimeter. Kevin Johnson, he comes into the game with 58 catches, so he's a big play guy for that offense.
This is the 17th meeting between the two teams. Miami leads the series 10-6. Syracuse snapped about a 7-game losing streak against the Canes, winning in the Orange Bowl 33-13 last year. And as we mentioned in the open, Miami having to ride a big blow. Reggie Wayne, their star wide receiver with 42 catches, will be out today and indeed the rest of the season. He has an ACL on his left knee, surgery scheduled for next week. It happened during practice this week. And so the Canes, with only 4 wide receivers on the travel squad, that means Andre King's going to see a lot of snaps. Santana Moss going to see a lot of snaps. We may see Miami go with a lot of 2 tight end, maybe even 3 tight end formations, because aside from King, Jones, and Santana, Darryl Jones and Santana Moss, the only other wide receiver on the trip is Aaron Mosier, who plays very, very sparingly.
Well, you take 42 catches away from this Miami offense right away with the departure of Reggie Wayne in this ball game. And as you said, Andre King has 17 receptions coming into the game. He's the guy that's going to have to step up and start for Miami at split end.
Todd Severs will kick it off for Miami, the freshman from Ankeny, Iowa. Back to receive for Syracuse will be Kyle McIntosh, number 28, and Kevin Johnson, number 12. Johnson averages 27 yards a return, and he's taken one back 97 this year for a touchdown. This is going to be Johnson a yard deep. Johnson tripped up, and a beautiful tackle by Nate Brooks at the 17-yard line of Syracuse. Knocked him head over heels, did Nate Brooks. So Syracuse will start off inside their own 20 on their first possession. You see Kevin Johnson, the wide receiver, their leading receiver with 58 catches out of Hamilton Township, New Jersey. And there is Donavan McNabb, one of the Syracuse captains, an outstanding senior season. You can't do much better than that touchdown-interception ratio.
No, he's a great quarterback. He's their team leader, spiritual leader, or emotional leader. He can do it all for Syracuse. That's the guy Miami has to stop.
Last year, Syracuse had 3 100-yard runners against Miami. And so Miami's first task today will be to stop the running game of the Orange. Rob Conrad and Kyle McIntosh lined up behind McNabb in the eye as they go 1st and 10 from the 18. McNabb, quick flip to the outside. Johnson across the 20 and run out of bounds there by Leonard Myers. Here's a look at the Syracuse offense. Scott Kiernan out of Coscob, Connecticut. The senior, he is their best blocker. The receivers, we mentioned Kevin Johnson with his 58 catches. Jeff Lowe now a starter since Quentin Spotwood was injured early in the year. And Rob Conrad, the big fullback, 246 pounds, and the guy is a bear. 2nd down for Syracuse. 4-yard pickup on 1st down. McNabb on the option. Pitch to McIntosh, has the corner turn. McIntosh down the sideline, and Al Blades shoves him out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Syracuse. Let's take a look quickly at the Miami defense. Derek Ham with a dozen sacks, Miami's leader in that category. Among the linebackers, Dan Morgan has been affected the last 2 games by the broken left thumb and 6 stitches in that same left hand. And in the secondary, Leonard Myers will have his hands full today with Kevin Johnson. Leonard, the sophomore out of Dillard High School.
Kevin Johnson just made a devastating block down the field on Edward Reed to really spring the Syracuse option play to the outside. They get the corner. Now downfield, you'll see a white number 20 flying up in the air. You might not see it on the screen, but he did a great job getting downfield, enabling McIntosh to go down the sideline.
McIntosh picked up 22. McNabb on the rollout. Comeback pattern to Johnson is overthrown at the near sideline. Second down 10 upcoming for Syracuse. Just underway, 14:33 to go first quarter. Frank Fort and John Conjemi with you on Sports Channel. And there, John, an example of how you've got to keep McNabb in the pocket if you don't want him to do damage. Because once he gets on that perimeter, now he's got the option to run or throw. And if he sees some territory, he can take off and really hurt you. He's very dangerous to the outside. And it's a good thing that Miami, especially up front and at the linebacker position, can run with McNabb. It doesn't give him a chance to square up his shoulders. That time he rushed the throw and it was high. Syracuse goes with 3 wide receivers. Miami in their nickel defensive package. On 2nd and 10. McNabb chased down by Nate Webster at midfield. Webster got help from Dan Morgan. They held it to a pickup of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. That's the speed. There you see the speed of this Miami defense. They do a nice job. Quincy Hips was getting blocked by 2 people. He tries to keep his feet. Made McNabb hold on to the football a little bit longer than he wanted to on the option. You take a look. He reverse pivots. You see Quincy Hips getting deep into the backfield. That allows Nate Webster and number 44, Dan Morgan, and number 20, Edward Reed, to pursue down the line of scrimmage. Watch Dan Morgan. Look at those eyes through that face mask. He's got a beat on the quarterback, Donavan McNabb, the whole way and gets his prey. You still see Dan Morgan with the cast on the left thumb. Again, 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 7, and Miami in the nickel package. Straight drop back for McNabb this time. Pocket collapsing. He's going to take off. At the 50, gets away from Morgan. Being chased by Al Blades. Here goes McNabb, and Blades finally hauls him down at the 24-yard line of Miami. But it's a huge play, 29 yards on the pickup for Donavan McNabb. We talked about at the open, Frank, you got to have number 52 or 44. Webster and Morgan try to spy when McNabb busts up through the middle of the pocket. That's when he's most dangerous. There you see his season average, 4.7 yards. That one was a lot longer. Had 90 attempts rushing. But take a look at Miami. They pursue. They put a good pressure on McNabb in the pocket, but there's room up the middle. And watch him make a move to the outside. That's where he makes Dan Morgan miss. And now his athletic ability takes over. He gets the corner, and it's a huge first down for Syracuse. Again, 29 on the pickup at the Miami 28, 1st and 10 for the Orange. McNabb on the option. Pitch to D. Brown. Brown gets a good block. Brown inside the 10. D. Brown, touchdown Syracuse. D. Brown from 28 yards out, and the Orangemen with a quick 6-0 lead. Well, the option is hurting Miami early, and they're getting the perimeter. Syracuse is using their speed. Donavan McNabb does a nice job of spreading the option to the left side. It just makes a great pitch to D. Brown, and it's all speed and effort to the outside. They got the corner. That was the most important block on Derek Ham. They got him inside. They closed him down. McNabb takes it outside, and it's 6-0 Syracuse. Nate Trout on to attempt the extra point. Kevin Johnson will hold as the Orangemen march right down the field in 1 minute and 32 seconds. Trout's conversion kick is up and through there, and with 13:28 left to go in the first quarter, Syracuse behind Donavan McNabb and D. Brown have jumped out to a quick 6-0 lead. Right side of your screen, you see 71, Derek Ham. He gets caught in no man's land, and a great block down the field. Al Blades gets chopped, a bad angle by Leonard Myers, but give credit to D. Brown. Great effort to get into the end zone. You'll see him inside the 10. He makes a move back to the inside, eludes the last tackler, the last Hurricane tackler, and gets in for his 7th touchdown of the season. Well, John, this is the emotion we were talking about there. You knew there would be a lot inside the building, and Syracuse has ridden that emotion to a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back. It's Syracuse 7, Miami nothing. Right back on Sports Channel after this. Back at the Carrier Dome, 50,000 plus, a packed house here in the Dome, and they've seen the Orangemen take a 7-0 lead on a 28-yard touchdown run by D. Brown. Peter Ferris will kick it off for the Orange. Najee Davenport and James Jackson back to receive for the Hurricanes. High and short. Davenport at the 8. Davenport across the 20 to the 23-yard line, and that's where he is brought down. Special teams tackle from number 52, Marlon Greenwood. And Scott Covington will bring the offense onto the field. We'll see how Miami can respond from the quick Syracuse touchdown drive. And the alarming thing for Miami is that Syracuse did it so easily, John, and by turning the corner, which is usually plays Miami runs down.
Well, we talked about the key on offense for Syracuse was number 5, Donavan McNabb. There you see Scott Covington. We talked about both quarterbacks in the open, how they'll face adversity. So far, McNabb has met the challenge.
And so far, Miami opened surprisingly in a 3-wide receiver set. Edgerrin James across the 25 to the 26, 27-yard line. I'll pick up a 3 on first down. Look at the Miami offense. Richard Mercier, the left guard from Montreal, Canada. Got a big crowd here in attendance for him, having an outstanding year. Andre King gets the start in place of the injured Reggie Wayne. And Edgerrin James with 1,002 yards to start this game on the season. Miami's first ever double 1,000-yard rusher. 2nd and 7 for Miami. Now back to the standard pro set with Nick Williams, the fullback. Covington's first throw, swings it out to James. James being chased by Greenwood. James up the sideline, finally bounced out up around the 30 by Will Allen, number 25. Here's a look at the Syracuse defense. Duke Pettijohn, the sophomore, having an outstanding year with 5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. Among the linebackers, Keith Bullock, their best, and he also has 8 tackles for loss among his 96 tackles. And in the secondary, a freshman from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Quentin Harris, he leads the Orange with 3 interceptions. 3rd and 5 for the Hurricanes. They have to reach just across the 34-yard line. Covington, backside pressure to the side, incomplete, going for Santana Moss, and Will Allen had the coverage, and Will Allen screaming in Santana's face. But it'll be a punting situation for the Hurricanes.
Allen was all over Santana Moss. Just a curl route going to the wide side of the field. You see Scott Covington jogging off the sideline. Had some pressure from the outside. Pettijohn, 49, just goes around Nick Williams. You see right there, and Scott Covington pays the price for hanging in the pocket. But look at the coverage on the outside. A little bit of holding and grabbing going on the outside. No call, and it goes to a 4th down punting opportunity.
Kevin Johnson takes the punt at his 20. Johnson across the 30, where Pat Del Vecchio and James Lewis, the defensive back, make the play. And Syracuse will start 1st and 10 from their 31-yard line. 48 yards on the punt from Andy Crossland. And now Miami's defense has to do something to slow Syracuse down. They can't afford to fall way behind in this game. We're going to take a break. 12:21 left to go first quarter. It's the Orange 7, the Hurricanes nothing. We'll be right back on Sports Channel.
It's no surprise that medical technology is going places it never has.
Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Or that a communications company is helping bring the world's most innovative treatments to the South.
Do you see the cyst?
You were correct. It's attached to the fornix.
What may be surprising is exactly who developed this extensive telemedicine network. It's not AT&T. It's not MCI. It's Bell South.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, it was a team effort.
From high-tech to healthcare, we're keeping you in tip-top shape.
Arm strength, quickness, agility, and body control. The essential elements of the winning defensive baseball player. And with Coach Emanski's Defensive Drills video, you'll learn the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school. The Defensive Drills video features revolutionary training techniques developed by professional scout and instructor Tom Emanski. Techniques that get results, producing baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams and even a gold medal in international competition. In a recent review, Collegiate Baseball Magazine exclaimed, with Coach Emanski's techniques, the future of baseball is here today. Even top professional players are impressed. Just ask Major League superstar Fred McGriff.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Emanski that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
The Defensive Drills video is available now for immediate shipping. It makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order, call now, 1-800-888-1610. That's 1-800-888-1610. Call now.
Join Sports Channel Florida every Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. for the Butch Davis Show. The Hurricanes head coach will give you 30 minutes of hard-hitting highlights and behind-the-scenes action. It's all right here on Sports Channel Florida, the Butch Davis Show, hosted by
none other than Frank Fort, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
32-yard line for the Orange. They go with the triple wide receiver and the eye in the backfield. McIntosh and Conrad behind McNabb. McNabb gives it off to McIntosh. McIntosh 35, 37-yard line where he's cut down by Marquise Fitzgerald, but picks up close to 6 on first down. There's Kyle McIntosh's numbers on the season. A good yards per carry average. Syracuse does rotate their tailbacks, D. Brown and McIntosh, and also James Mungro. And of course, McNabb carries his share of the time too. So as a Syracuse tailback, it's a little difficult to get 1,000 yards. You simply don't get enough carries.
Yeah, he adds that burst in that backfield, Frank, at 5'8". He's got great speed, great first step.
And his brother, of course, the starting cornerback for the Orange. 2nd and 4. McNabb options. McNabb with the late pitch, a great block on the outside, and McIntosh gets up to the 44-yard line and has enough for first down yardage. Edward Reed looked like he had McIntosh in his sights, but was chopped down in the backfield.
Nice job by Rob Conrad, number 44. Good job pursuit by number 98, Matt Swinney. Almost has McNabb. He dishes it outside. Now watch the flying white jersey. That's number 20, Edward Reed. He tries to make a big play and hurdle Rob Conrad, but he does such a nice job. Watch Conrad lower his left shoulder, take the strong safety Reed out right at the kneecaps. A nice job by Conrad. That enables Syracuse to get the first down.
Pickup of 6 for McIntosh. Nate Webster had to push McIntosh out of bounds. It's 1st and 10, Syracuse at their 44. McNabb play fake. Here comes the reverse to Johnson. Johnson gets a huge block at the 50, at the 40, and he's shoved out of bounds. And Michael Smith got his helmet taken off and almost his head.
Yeah, the right tackle, Jeff Pelon, number 64, just with a lookout block, and this was set up perfectly by Syracuse. They had everybody in the right position. Watch the ball fake from McNabb. He dishes everything from his stomach. A great little flip to the outside, and just on the corner right there, you'll see Michael Smith, number 59, just take one right to the chin by number 64, Jeff Pelon. He was excited, to say the least, after the play.
Yeah, he kicked Smith's helmet downfield. 16-yard pickup on the reverse to Johnson. And Syracuse has it all working right now. 1st and 10 from the Miami 40. McIntosh picks up about 3 down to the 37-yard line. 2nd and 7 upcoming for Syracuse. Nate Webster in on the tackle for Miami. 11:14 to go first quarter. Syracuse scored the first time they had the ball, marching it smartly downfield, 83 yards. And this possession started at their own 32, and they have made a couple of first downs.
The pace of the play right now, Frank, is totally in favor of Syracuse. They have an upbeat tempo. They have great field position. They're making first downs, and they're running the option to perfection.
On 2nd and 7 from the 37. McNabb still with the football to his fullback, Conrad. And Conrad shoved out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Leonard Myers making the tackle. Gain is 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Orange.
That's a nice job by Leonard Myers. He's only 6 foot, 175 pounds, and he's taking on Rob Conrad with a full head of steam at 6'3", 247. Watch Conrad at the top of your screen. He just perfect pass out in the flat, and then he squares his shoulder up, but Myers was in a nice job, in a nice position to come from that secondary for the Canes. And now it's a huge play, Frank. 3rd and about 3 yards to go, it looks like. Miami desperately needs a stop here.
Standard package for personnel for the Orange on offense. 2 wide receivers. McNabb flips it out of the backfield, incomplete, going for D. Brown. And that'll bring up a 4th down play.
And he had a big play to the outside because he had leverage on the inside middle linebacker, number 52, Nate Webster. If that ball's down a little bit to D. Brown, and Donavan McNabb knows it, he let one get away from him. Watch the leverage on the outside. If he can just get this football down and hit him in stride, it's a foot race to the corner, and it's one I think that Nate Webster may have lost.
Field goal team on the field. Nate Trout will line up for a field goal of just over 50 yards. Kevin Johnson is the holder.
Have to stay on sides here.
Snap is good. Johnson puts it down, and Trout hits it. Does he have the distance? He does. Just barely, but it's through there. And with 10:36 left to go first quarter, Syracuse now has a 10-0 lead.
That was a good job. Butch Davis trying to encourage his team that, hey, that's all right. It's 10-0 early, but we didn't give up the touchdown. But he used every inch of that kick by Trout. Take a look at this ball. It looks like it just hangs forever. but Nate Trout does a nice job of getting everything he had into it for the field goal, and it's a 10-0 lead.
Trout now 12 out of 16 on the year. His previous longest season was 43 yards, so that's 7 yards longer than his previous field goal try. 10:36 left to go first quarter. It's Syracuse 10, Miami nothing. We'll be right back on Sports Channel. 7 plays, 35 yards in a minute 46, and Nate Trout with a 50-yard field goal. Trout out of Merritt Island, Florida, and he hangs 3 points on the board for the Orangemen as Donavan McNabb playing his final game here at the Carrier Dome. And John, we talked about it before the game. Maybe just a little too much emotion, a little too much fire for Miami to overcome early in this ball game, because McNabb has meant so much to this football program, and everybody on this team wants to send him out a winner. Peter Ferris to kick off. James Jackson at the 1. Jackson nearly cracked through, pulled down at the 16-yard line. Yeah, Syracuse really fired up in this one. Jason Poles, number 7, making the tackle. And Miami will start 1st and 10 at their 16-yard line.
Normally when you watch the University of Miami, they always have the advantage when it comes to team speed. But today it looks like Syracuse coming out, and really they have the upper hand, especially on offense. The first couple of series, they're really getting the corners, and now the defense and the crowd feed off of that. It's a tough spot for Scott Covington in this offense to get it going on your own 16-yard line.
Standard eye for the Canes. Nick Williams and Edgerrin James behind Covington. Edgerrin James with the football. Picks his way through to the 19-yard line. A gain of about 3. Getting off the bottom of the pile, number 98, Ricky Simpkins. Here's the numbers on Edgerrin James coming in. 1,002 yards, the third Miami back to get 1,000, and the only back to do it twice. He did it as a sophomore and did it again this year as a junior.
Well, credit Robert Hall and Nick Williams on that last play. They just laid out Duke Pettyjohn at the point of attack.
2nd and 7 for Miami. Covington going deep and overthrows Santana Moss. Will Allen, good coverage. In fact, Allen made Moss slow down in the middle of the pattern, and that ball did not have a chance to be completed.
Yeah, Will Allen, that's 2 passes in a row. The last time they went to the outside to Santana Moss, where usually Santana has the advantage and the upper hand. Watch the technique of Will Allen. He just goes to the outside, and he's got everything in his vision. He has the quarterback, and he has the receiver, and he's pinning his back to the sideline. That's a great technique by Will Allen on the outside.
Will Allen got the start today in place of Ian McIntosh. 3rd and 7. And now the official stopping the clock. And it looks like Syracuse called a timeout. They indicate Syracuse calling a timeout. So perhaps they did not have the right personnel on the field to deal with Miami's offensive formation, so they took the timeout instead. 9:49 left to go in the first quarter, and Syracuse with a 10-0 lead. And John, it's looking a lot like last year's game, where Syracuse came to the Orange Bowl and just ran roughshod over the Miami defense, using that option and the abilities of McNabb, and Miami was never able to figure out a way to slow him down. And so far in this game, they have not.
Well, I think Miami right now, they just have to stay calm. They're still in this football game, and they don't want to get away from what they want to do offensively early. They've been running the football. They've been doing a good job. Scott Covington, he's the leader in that pile right there, number 11 on the season. He has a great touchdown interception ratio. He's going to get over 2,000 yards today with 1922 coming into the football game, but they have to stay with their game plan. They were trying to run the football on 1st down, try to mix it up on the outside, but they desperately need to convert on 3rd down right here to take this crowd and the momentum away from Syracuse.
The Hurricanes will close out the regular season next week against UCLA. Kickoff in the Orange Bowl will be 2 p.m. It's great football, touchdown alley, family fun, and more, all at an affordable price. Call 385-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for tickets. That's Miami and UCLA next week. The game postponed because of Hurricane George back in late September. But for right now, Miami's got a hill to climb. They're down 10-0 against this fired-up Syracuse team here in the Carrier Dome with the Big East Championship on the line.
As we said early, Frank, when this place is rocking, it can get very loud, and I don't know if I've ever heard it louder as a player or coming in and doing the broadcast, because they're fired up right now, and this team feeds off of this emotion.
2 years ago, when Miami came up here and cost Syracuse the outright Big East Championship, Miami scored early in the game, built up a lead, and then held off a comeback. And they really, with that team, took the crowd out of it. Today, the crowd's gotten a chance to get into the game, and Syracuse feeding off the emotions. 3 wide receivers set for the Canes. James is the lone running back. On 3rd and 7. Covington over the middle, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Santana Moss, and he wouldn't have had the first down anyway.
Yeah, they brought pressure. Syracuse did a nice job of disguising down to the strong side of the field. They brought a strong safety and they brought the strong side linebacker. Covington had to make a quick decision. He had people to the right side of your screen. You see the game with the middle linebacker, but Miami had a hat on a hat. I just think that if Scott had enough time, he had the tight end coming across. The two inside linebackers banjoed, and they left number 88, Bubba Franks, wide open to the short side.
Scott made the wrong choice. Their punt is blocked. And Syracuse has it at the 15-yard line. Number 46, Vernon Banks, blocked the Andy Crossland punt. And Syracuse in great field position at the 15.
Yeah, Vernon Banks came right through and got a piece of that Andy Crossland kick. You see him on the sidelines. Take a look, Crossland gets the ball clean, but right up the middle, you see right there, he almost runs by the kicker. Does a Syracuse special teamer, but they get a piece of the football, and it's a huge turnover early in this football game. Another angle on it, you'll take a look, the middle of your screen. Nobody accounts for the Syracuse special teamer coming right up the middle, and it was a clean break, Frank. That's something that cannot happen, especially deep in your own end. You never want to turn the football over, but that was too easy for Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse has blocked only 2 kicks this year, a lot less than they used to about 5 or 6 years ago. They've concentrated more on the return aspect of the game. But Banks came clean and got the block from the 15-yard line. Full house backfield. McNabb pitches to Conrad. Conrad dragged down by Nate Webster at the 12-yard line. And mark it at the 11, a gain of 4 on first down. A look at Rob Conrad. Doesn't carry the ball a whole lot, but boy, is he effective.
He's very effective. He knows his role on this team. He's a senior. He's the leader. He's one of the co-captains. You see him 424 yards, a high average, 7 touchdowns, but it's his blocking. It's all the intangible things that Rob Conrad adds to this offense that makes it go.
Still with the triple running backs and only 1 wide receiver, Kevin Johnson, in the game. Sedano, Conrad, and Brown behind McNabb. McNabb, double clutches. Still looking for help.
He's got
Goes to the end zone. Johnson, touchdown. Kevin Johnson finally got away from Leonard Myers, and that's a long time to ask somebody to stick with a guy like Kevin Johnson.
Well, that's the intangible that number 5, Donavan McNabb, brings to the party. He keeps plays alive, even when it's only 1 wide receiver going downfield. He has the ability to keep a play alive, and he does it with his poise and his patience. Take a look, they go to a full house backfield, almost a wishbone backfield. They fake it, they want to get it to him to the outside to Kevin Johnson quick, but all Donavan McNabb does is ad-lib a little bit. He stretches the defense, he makes them cover for a long extended period of time. That's too much time. Kevin Johnson finds some room in the end zone for the Syracuse touchdown.
Johnson will hold for Nate Trout, who converts once again, and with 8:46 left to go in the first quarter, it is all Orangemen. It's 17 for Syracuse, nothing for Miami. Donavan McNabb celebrating as he has his team way out in front of the Hurricanes. And the reaction on the Miami sideline from Butch Davis and Chuck Pagano, the defensive backs coach.
Well, it's slipping away right now. Butch Davis knows that he feels that he would have gladly gone and given the punt block and maybe a field goal, but 17-0 with only 8:46 left to go in the first quarter. It's running away from Miami right now.
Yeah, and Miami has yet to pick up a first down in the game, so they haven't done anything to take the momentum away from Syracuse. Well, it's all bad so far for the Hurricanes, and now Butch Davis and his staff have his hands full just keeping their kids' minds in the game. You know, they could easily mail it in the rest of the day. But, you know, I said before the game today, John, back at the hotel, that for this team, it may be asking too much to go from 5-6 one year to conference champions the next year. It may be too much to ask of this particular team, as young as it is, to make that kind of leap. Yeah, they've won 7 games this year. They've made strides, but I think to come into Syracuse and expect to take this game away from a much more experienced team and an athletically gifted team like Syracuse probably was asking too much, and so far that seems to be the case.
Well, it's a tough task, but it's a tough task when you only have to go 15 yards to score and you only take 50 seconds on 2 plays, all culminating in a touchdown pass from Donavan McNabb to Kevin Johnson. That's the key, Frank. They cannot give Syracuse a short field to work on. So far they've done, Syracuse, to their credit, has done a great job in shortening the field, taking it to Miami, and Miami has come out of the locker room and really has not been able to convert only one first down, I believe, in this football game.
They don't have one yet.
Not yet, not even a first down. So they've been deep in their own territory and haven't been able to get anything started on offense.
Davenport at the 4. Davenport to the 25-yard line. Tripped up there by number 45, J.R. Johnson, a backup safety. And Miami will start 1st and 10 at that point at the 25-yard line.
I think what Miami has to do, even with their top wide receiver out of the football game, they have to find a way to get Bubba Franks and Mondrell Fulcher involved in this series right here. They have the ball in the middle of the field at the 25-yard line. Spread them out. Let your tight ends go one-on-one in the zones. Find the zones. Let Scott Covington come back and get some confidence, either with a screen play or a hitch play outside.
Mondrell Fulcher is the tight end in the standardized set. Delay give to James, and he's hammered in the backfield by Stan Gibbs. And some pushing and shoving after the play as Rich Mercier is getting into it with Ricky Simpkins. Let's take a second look.
Well, this is something you don't want to do coming out on first down. You know Syracuse is geared up to stop the run and especially cut somebody free up front. Stan Gibbs does a nice job, the strong side linebacker. He has 89 total tackles coming in, 8 of those for a loss. Make that 9 on the season. Did a nice job coming around the blocking of the University of Miami.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Nick Williams, the fullback, just didn't pick up Gibbs in time. Covington on a rollout, running out of time, and Gibbs has him for the sack. Stan Gibbs, that's his first full sack of the season. He had a half a sack coming into the game. And the Hurricanes right now, John, are just in disarray.
They are. They're moving backwards and make that 9 tackles for a loss, or 10, and another sack for number 31, Stan Gibbs. He's unaccounted for. He comes right through the middle. Scott Covington turns his back trying to make the play fake. Had no chance when he turned around to make a play because number 31, Stan Gibbs, was right in his face. And Syracuse in this crowd is just feeding on the play of their offense and defense and special teams right now.
3rd and 18 for Miami. Covington 1 out of 3 this afternoon. That for only 2 yards. Blitz coming. And down he goes again. This time at the 4-yard line. Duke Pettijohn and Kevin O'Neill combining for the sack.
Actually, it looked like Edgerrin James trying to pick up the blitz from the backfield, blocked his man right around the tackle. Number 77, Robert Hall, right into the quarterback, Scott Covington. But Syracuse is coming with a lot of pressure. Your left side of your screen. Watch Edgerrin James come across the quarterback to pick up the pressure, but they actually block him to the inside. Mondrell Fulcher and Robert Hall both block the pressure to the inside where Scott Covington was, and it throws him right into the sack.
Covington with crossing with a nice boot out of his end zone, bobbled by Johnson at his 40. Johnson at the 30. And finally falls down at the 35 as Wilbur Valdez and Al Blades cover him there. But a good job by Crossland kicking Miami out of trouble. 6:29 to go first quarter. And John, nothing has gone right for Miami. Absolutely nothing.
They haven't had a chance to really get their feet underneath them. It feels like the game should be in the third quarter, as much scoring and as much play that Syracuse has had success offensively and defensively. There's 6:29 left to go in the first quarter. Miami has done nothing offensively, and it seems like the aggression, Syracuse is taking the game to Miami. Miami cannot do anything but catch punches right now. They have to come out and establish what they want to do offensively, but they cannot get locked into running the football on first down. They have to throw it, get it outside, and get Scott Covington into a little bit of a rhythm, not 3rd and 2nd and long.
1st and 10 Syracuse, ball just across their 35. Double wide receiver to the top of the screen. Watch out for the reverse. They give it to Johnson, and he's going to throw. Gets away from Quincy Hips, loads up and throws deep. Maurice Jackson, and the ball is intercepted by Leonard Myers. Leonard Myers with the turnover as Syracuse tried to get fancy. And Kevin Johnson had his man, but the ball hung up way too long in the air.
I think it's a great call by Syracuse because it's just like a punt. You take a shot and try to go out for the knockout punch with 6:18 left to go. You see the reverse, and Kevin Johnson wants to throw the football, but the key was number 90, Quincy Hips, makes him reload, and then he throws the ball, floats in the air quite a long time. It's a jump ball deep downfield. And number 22, Leonard Myers, comes up with the ball. You see right here, Al Blades lets him go. He's open there, but Quincy Hips makes Kevin Johnson readjust and throw the football again. It floats too long, and it's a nice play by Leonard Myers.
From the 14, James. Really nowhere to go. Bullock and company, and they've got him for no gain. Keith Bullock leading the tacklers. 6'4", 220 junior out of New City, New York. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Well, he's their leading tackler for the Cuse on defense. 96 total tackles. Keith Bullock, he's got great speed. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. He does a lot of things with his ability to run around tackles, but Miami's getting locked into running on first down. They just can't do it, Frank.
2nd and 10. To give Edgerrin James, rather Dajay Davenport. Davenport gets up to about the 16-yard line. Picked up about 2. Moreland Greenwood there, along with number 98, Ricky Simpkins. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 7 for the Canes as Davenport
Joaquin Gonzalez looked like he came up limping the right tackle. You see the season stats for Nijay: 43 rushes for 325 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a high average. But they could use 7 yards right now because it's 3rd and 7, and it's tough to try to get a first down for the Canes so far today.
3 wide receivers in the formation. That's Santana Moss in motion. Covington throws it quickly, caught by Andre King at the 25, the 20 rather, but well short of the first down. Jason Poles made the tackle. It was a gain of only 2. John, I think they think they're seeing something from Syracuse, and they're getting a completely different look on the coverage.
They're getting a lot of pressure from the up front 7. You see a lot of times Syracuse is bluffing and stunning up front. This time they give them a very vanilla look, but they had a play design where on the outside it wouldn't have gotten enough yardage for the first down.
Fair catch by Kevin Johnson at the 48. And that's where the Orange will take over with 4:30 left to go in the first quarter. And Syracuse with a seemingly comfortable 17-0 lead over Miami and the Canes. 3 possessions so far, and they've just gotten absolutely nothing. No first downs.
Well, the offensive line right now is not winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Give credit to that Syracuse defensive front and their linebackers. They're doing a nice job of stunning, getting in the right spots, and credit their secondary too. They've been all over Santana Moss on the outside. A couple routes he's tried to go long. He's tried to run a curl route. That time you see a delay route to Andre King underneath. Syracuse has been in the right spots.
1st and 10 Orange. Good field position at their 48. Johnson in motion. Give to Conrad. Conrad to midfield. Still moving, but that's all he's going to get. About 2 yards. Michael Smith and Quincy Hips combining on the tackle for the Miami defense.
That's the first time they've given the football up the middle to Rob Conrad, and that time the Miami defense responds. They swarm to the football, and a nice job on first down by this Cane defense.
Clock moving with 4 minutes and 8 seconds to go first quarter. A look at McNabb's numbers on the season. By the way, the interception that Kevin Johnson threw on the last possession, that's only the 9th time all year that Syracuse has turned the football over. That's one reason they average 40 points a game. They don't give it back very easily. 4 wide receivers now in the formation. McNabb gives it to Conrad. Conrad runs into a huge pile. Michael Lawson made the first hit, and then a lot of help. Derek Ham got in there along with Damian Lewis. Pretty much the whole front 4 got in on that tackle.
Yeah, credit Michael Lawson. You called it, number 97 in white. He did a great job on Corey Bowden, 55, the center. Middle of your screen, take a look at number 97 right there. Fights through the middle along with Nate Webster and number 71, Derek Ham. They do a nice job swarming to the football. And this is really the first time Syracuse has been in a 3rd and long conversion attempt.
3rd and just about 10 from the Orange 48. 3 wide receiver set for the Orangemen. Now Blade showing blitz, and here he comes. Syracuse picks it up pretty well. Pass is intercepted by Quincy Hips in the zone blitz. Quincy Hips picks off McNabb. How about that? A defensive lineman making a pick.
Quincy Hips comes off. They brought Al Blades from the strong side, so they dropped someone weak, and that someone was number 90, Quincy Hips. Take a look at the left side of your screen. It looks like Quincy's going to rush, but he gets back into the short, flat coverage. McNabb's looking right the whole way, tries to stick it in a tough situation, and Quincy Hips, coming from the line of scrimmage, does a nice job, shows some athletic ability of going up and getting the football. And you see McNabb had enough time to find a receiver. That time makes a bad play, and Miami finally gets good field position at the Syracuse 45.
With 2:58 left to go first quarter. Covington play faking. Looking deep for Santana Moss, overthrows him as Ian McIntosh had very good coverage for the Orange. It looks to me like they're not going to let Santana beat him deep under any circumstances today.
Well, there's no rhythm on offense. It's tough to get first down completions going downtown, and Santana Moss, if you watch the couple plays before, every Syracuse defender is with his back turned to the sidelines and letting Miami run to the inside free, but they're in great position to come over the top and make a play on the ball.
Well, it looks like they're willing to give up the out pattern or the comeback route, but they're not going to let Santana run deep on it. 2nd and 10 from the Syracuse 45, following the turnover. Reverse, Darryl Jones is hammered by Duke Pettijohn. Robert Hall simply missed his block. That's a loss of almost 10.
And it almost looks like Syracuse knows exactly what Miami wants to do on offense, because that time, number 7, Jason Poles, came on a strong safety blitz to the top of your screen. You'll see a blur coming from the secondary. That's Jason Poles. It looked like he disrupted some blocking up the point of attack, and that allowed Duke Pettijohn, number 49, to come from his defensive end position and make a big tackle for a loss on 2nd down.
It seems like George DeLeon, the Syracuse coordinator, is making all the right calls. 3rd and 20. Frank's in motion, and Scott Covington wants a timeout. Well, John, it's one of those games right now where the Syracuse coaches are making the great calls, and Miami just doesn't have anything to counteract it right now. They're coming on these blitzes, especially out of their nickel package, and that's something Miami was really concerned about going into the game, the blitz package from the nickel.
Well, you come out and you get a turnover and you get the ball on the Syracuse 45-yard line. You kind of waste 1st down. You go for a home run ball that really Santana Moss has not had a chance to get open in this football game. So you waste 1st down. You come back on 2nd down, and you find that you want to make a play, so you go with the reverse. Syracuse has the perfect play call. It's a blitz. If you make it, it's a touchdown, but if you break at the point of attack, it's going to be a big play for Syracuse. They make the plays. It all comes down to making big plays, and right now there's a lot of niches underneath the SU for Syracuse.
3rd and 20 coming up. Miami at their own 45, and still have yet to record a 1st down in this game, which for a team that averages 37 points a game is pretty stunning. Syracuse has turned the ball over twice on their last 2 possessions. Interceptions by Leonard Myers and Quincy Hipps, as you see 3rd down today in Miami, and 0 for 4. They're whiffing so far on 3rd down. But by the way, the Quincy Hipps interception, the first interception this year by someone other than a defensive back in the Miami defense. The linebackers don't have any picks this year. And Quincy Hipps, needless to say, his first career interception as Miami's offense comes back on the field.
Well, what Miami wants to do right now, Frank, they cannot turn the football over. The worst thing they could do is turn it over. If they don't convert the 3rd down, punt the football deep in Syracuse's territory, try to regain that field position and establish something on offense the next time they get the football.
3 wide receivers in for the Canes on 3rd and 20. Bubba Frank's in motion. 4-man rush. Covington over the middle. Andre King and the Syracuse defensive back Phil Nash had him short of the 1st down, but Andre lunged, and he's going to be really close to it.
Boy, it depends on the mark. What a great effort by Andre King, number 84. It looks like the far linesman on the Miami side gave them the mark ahead of the 35-yard line, and they're saying it is a 1st down, Frank. Great effort to the outside, bottom of your screen. Covington moves the pocket to the right. He was trying to look down the field. He has enough time. Great protection by the offensive line. And he finds Andre King. What a nice move to get the 1st down. Great effort by number 84.
1:52 to go 1st quarter. Syracuse with a 17-0 lead. Miami's initial 1st down of the game. Covington under pressure. Complete to Najee Davenport, and he is hammered right away by Keith Bullock. Najee lost his hat. A gain of only 2.
Boy, Syracuse is really bringing the heat up front on 1st and 2nd down. They're really pressuring Scott Covington to look and get rid of the football with quickness, and he did it that time. He found Najee for a positive play, but they're bringing a lot of heat on the early downs on Scott Covington.
We were talking yesterday with Rob Chudzinski, the tight end coach, about identification. That's probably the toughest thing against the Syracuse defense. Who's the strong safety? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? And that dictates your blocking scheme. On 2nd and 8. Give to James. James to the 30. Edger into the corner, gets close to 1st down yardage. Finally pushed out by Quentin Harris. And that looks to be a Miami 1st down.
Well, Frank, that one play to number 84, Andre King, may have sparked this Miami team, because now they put a couple successful plays together, and it all starts with Edger James in the backfield making a nice move and keeping his balance, getting to the outside, and gets another 1st down for Miami in this drive. Crucial 1st down by Edger James.
1st and 10, just inside the Syracuse 25. Mark it at the 24. Pitch to James. Good block by Gonzalez. James 20. James 15. Finally shoved out there by Jason Poles. But he again looks to have a first down as he picked up 11.
Nice block, as you said, at the point of attack by the Miami offensive lineman and Najee Davenport, who's now playing a lot of fullback for the Canes. They get the corner. Nice down block by Bubba Franks, and you see 73 Gonzalez kicking out. Now Najee Davenport does a nice job on the outside, something he's not accustomed to, being the blocking back for Edgerrin James. But Miami's doing a nice job of running to the short side of the football field. Look for pressure from Syracuse right now on first down. You see Edgerrin, 6 rushes for 23 yards. Syracuse likes to come with pressure on first down.
From the Syracuse 13.
It looks like
timeout called.
Jason Poles, the strong safety, looked like he wanted a timeout. Didn't like the setup defensively for Syracuse.
That's Syracuse's second timeout, so they burned a couple here in the first quarter, but with a 17-0 lead, I'm sure they're not too concerned about it. Butch Davis talking with Scott Covington in the offense.
And he's telling him we had him exactly where we wanted to. Get to the line of scrimmage and run the play, because I think they had Syracuse in an uncomfortable defense for them. They had the right play called on first down, and unfortunately Miami didn't get up to the line of scrimmage and run the play.
And a good job by Poles, the senior out of Glassboro, New Jersey, to call the timeout, knowing that they're in a bad situation. He's saying run the play, snap the ball, snap the ball.
Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator upstairs, they know they had the right play called, and Butch was telling them to try to get to the line of scrimmage and run the play because Syracuse was confused on defense.
You could read Butch's lips pretty easily. Run the play, run the play. You know, those are opportunities you got to take advantage of, especially when you're down 17-0. You need something positive to happen if you're the Hurricanes. 17-0 Orange. They started it off with a quick drive off the opening kickoff. D. Brown with a 28-yard touchdown run. And then a Nate Trout field goal of 50 yards. And then following a block punt, which set up Syracuse at the Miami 15-yard line, Donavan McNabb a 12-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Johnson. Since then, the Miami defense has toughened up. Interceptions by Leonard Myers off a reverse pass by Kevin Johnson. And Quincy Hipps with his first career interception picking off Donavan McNabb. And I think Quincy's going to remember that one for quite a while. Coming against one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
And that's really the first time we've seen Miami do something like that defensively. So he was in an unusual position, did a nice job. Syracuse coming out with man coverage, it looks like, to the far side of the field.
And Miami with the double tight end and 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. James, the lone running back. James has the football. Behind Damon Neely. Edgerrin James close to the goal line. They'll mark him out at the 1.
Well, even when Edgerrin doesn't have an escort to the end zone, he uses his moves as his own blocking. Quentin Harris, number 29, the free safety, had Edgerrin James in his sights, but watch the stutter step move to the short side. Man coverage, he breaks the corner. Watch his stutter step move right there, and he freezes the free safety, Quentin Harris, number 29, cuts inside of him and looked like he tried to get to the pylon, but is a yard short, goes down to the 1. But watch the move right there. He goes straight from going outside to the sidelines, gets north and south, and gets it to the 1-yard line.
Miami goes with triple tight end and Nick Williams the fullback. Edgerrin James through the pile for Miami, touchdown. Edgerrin James from a yard out with 44 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Miami is on the board.
All ignited by a huge third down catch by Andre King. Now this Miami team starting to feed a little bit of momentum going to their sideline. Edgerrin James does a nice job from 1 yard out. He just follows his blocking straight ahead. He uses his power inside. Take a look, his shoulders are square, he's low. Goes right through the tackle of Keith Bullock for the touchdown, and the Canes are on the board.
Andy Crossland will attempt the conversion. Pat Del Vecchio to snap, and Jeff Popovich the hold. Snap is good, hold is good, and Crossland's kick is through there. And with 44 seconds to go in the first quarter, Miami has responded with their first touchdown. Edgerrin James, and that ties the school record for rushing touchdowns in a season at 14. Edgerrin already holds the single season touchdown record. He's got now 16. He said it last week with 15, but that combines rushing and receiving touchdowns. This ties the rushing touchdown record.
And one thing that touchdown does is quiet the crowd down, Frank. Actually, we don't have to yell as loud as we have been in the last couple of minutes. But the scoring drive, 8 plays, 45 yards, 2:14 off the clock. James gets in from 1 yard out, but it was all set up by a couple of conversions on third down. Take a look at the offensive line. Mercier pulling from left to right, but Edgerrin sees a crack straight ahead. You see Bubba Franks, he gets a stalemate at the point of attack, and Scott Covington knows that they're back in this football game. They were on the verge of getting run out with 44 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Miami answers Syracuse, and now they need a stop by this defense. If they can create another turnover, or just come out 3 plays and out, keep this crowd with their hands on the bottom of their bottoms, they would do a good job of coming out and try to go 3 plays and out.
44 seconds to go first quarter. Kyle McIntosh and Kevin Johnson will go deep to receive. As you look at Edgerrin James, the junior out of Immokalee, Florida, with his 14th rushing touchdown of the season and 16th overall.
Well, Edgerrin's done a terrific job, Frankie. He's the leader in that offensive backfield, and he's been doing a nice job of running the football the last 5 or 6 weeks. I don't think there's been a better back in the country. You know, Ricky Williams doing a nice job out in Texas.
Yeah, it'd be pretty tough to be Ricky Williams. He put up 250 on Texas A&M, right, which is a great defense.
But with the team, the way Miami's been going, Edgerrin James in the last 5 or 6 weeks has done what Miami's asked him to do, and that's lead the team on the ground.
Seavers kickoff. Johnson at the 1. Kevin Johnson, look out. Kevin Johnson's gone. Kevin Johnson's going to go 99 yards for a touchdown, and that puts the momentum right back on Syracuse's side.
It's exactly what we talked about, Frank. The one thing you couldn't do was give Syracuse a big play to come out, and special teams have been a key right now for Syracuse. They've already blocked a punt, and now they take it the distance, 99 yards for the touchdown. Just a huge play on the outside of special teams by number 12, Kevin Johnson. Really untouched, Frank, at the point of attack, the wall. You see great blocking. There's a blue shirt on a white shirt the whole way through. And then Kevin Johnson just uses his speed to get to the outside. He's already set a record for Syracuse on the outside on special teams. And a Big East record. He just adds to the list of what he can do on special teams.
His second kickoff return for a touchdown this year. My question would be, why do you even kick it to him?
That's something that may not be answered, Frank, because Syracuse was on the verge of running Miami out, and now they've got all the momentum and all the people back in this Carrier Dome into the football game.
Well, the kick was to the left hash mark, and you see most of Miami's guys on that side, and when the return went right, Miami just couldn't get enough bodies over there.
Well, I think Miami was just hanging on to the blocks. Usually you see Miami coming down and eluding the blockers. That time they didn't get off the blocks. It looked like they were in a stalemate on special teams, and that's enough room. All you have to do is give Kevin Johnson a crease, and he can take it the distance, and that's exactly what happened there. Syracuse had the right people in the right spots, and that's desperate situation for Miami now. They were just trying to find their way to get back into the football game, and now with 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Syracuse gets a lead now of 24-7.
But, you know, the guy's averaging 27 yards a kickoff return coming into the game. To me, at least, you say, we're not even going to kick it to him. We're going to kick it to McIntosh, or we're going to pooch it and let the up guys handle it. Now, I know you don't want to give up field position to McNabb, but, you know, Kevin Johnson is a lethal weapon, and I know this sounds like hindsight, but you look at the numbers coming into the game. He's averaging 27 yards and already had taken one back for a touchdown this year. I just don't think you kick it to him.
It all points to the numbers. That is a game breaker for special teams. He's the difference on special teams. But you felt like Miami was getting back into the game. They kind of had that little swagger going. They figured they could kick it down and make a big play on special teams, pin them back inside the 23 plays and out. You don't want to give in to Syracuse and special teams, but they made the plays. They're making the plays now.
But don't give in, but don't let the best guy beat you. Kick it to the other guy. Kick it to McIntosh. Here's the kickoff from Ferris. Davenport at the 1. Davenport tripped up. And Miami will start 1st and 10 just outside the 20. Looked like Vernon Banks again, who had blocked a punt earlier in the game. And with 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter, the Canes will start 1st and 10 at their, let's see where they mark it, at the 20-yard line. Call it the 19.
Well, other than the turnover by Quincy Hips, Miami's really been starting in terrible field position. It looks like they've been, if I had to guess, their average would be close to around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, if you take out the turnover at the Syracuse 45, it's probably been closer to the 15. 1st and 10 Miami, down 24-7 in the first quarter. Covington over the middle, intercepted by Gibbs. Edgerrin James makes the tackle at the Miami 19-yard line. It looked like he had the tight end open, but Gibbs stepped into the passing lane.
Boy, the vertical on Gibbs, he went up and got the football. He made a terrific play just to go up top. It looked like Scott Covington was waiting for his tight end, Mondrell Fulcher, to go from the left side to the right side. You see 18 trying to get away from the linebackers. Covington, all he has to do is wait about another half second. If he had another second, he could wait for Mondrell to clear the linebackers. That time he didn't anticipate the linebacker going up top to catch the football. You see, Covington was already ready to throw. That was maybe the problem. He didn't sell the play fake long enough. He turned right around to try to deliver the football, couldn't find anyone, and then tried to force it down the middle instead of having a little bit more patience and waiting for the tight end to clear.
McIntosh gets a yard or two. Nate Webster on the tackle at the 16-yard line, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. A disastrous first quarter for the Hurricanes. If you're a Syracuse fan, it is nirvana. At the end of one at the Carrier Dome, it's Syracuse 24, Miami 7. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this here on Sports Channel. The Hurricanes will close out the regular season next week against undefeated UCLA. Kickoff in the Orange Bowl, 2 o'clock. Great football, touchdown alley, family fun, and more at an affordable price. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for tickets. 2nd and 8 for the Orange. Inside the Miami 20 following the turnover. McNabb, late pitch to McIntosh. Sprints through the hole. McIntosh to the 5. Shoved out of bounds at the 3-yard line. That's a Syracuse first down. It will be 1st and goal.
I think the problem was Quincy Hips didn't make Donavan McNabb make a decision. Watch the left side of your screen. Quincy Hips, number 90, is in nice position, but he lets Donavan McNabb stretch the option out. He tries to play both, but he's not fast enough to close on the back McIntosh after he gets the pitch outside, and that was the problem. The Miami defense finally catches up to McIntosh, but not until he gets inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, you got to go smack the quarterback in the mouth, even if he pitches the ball. Full house backfield. McNabb keeping. McNabb to the goal line, just short. Michael Smith on the tackle for the Hurricane defense. Second and goal for the Orange. Let's take a second look as they go with the option. And why not when you got a guy like McNabb?
Yeah, Derek Ham to the outside. He's playing in limbo. It really doesn't make Donavan McNabb do anything but turn up. You have to go and attack the quarterback and make him make a decision. That time, if you give Donavan McNabb a small crease, he's usually going to make you pay, but he gets it to the 1-foot line.
Still a double tight end and a full house backfield. Everybody in tight for Syracuse. McNabb sneaking, touchdown. Donavan McNabb with 14:03 to go second quarter, and Syracuse has stretched their lead to 30-7.
Well, Miami gives up the football on the interception, and Donavan McNabb and this Syracuse offense knows exactly what to do with it. They punch it in from a foot just on a quarterback sneak. Donavan McNabb goes over the left guard, and you see he just gets enough surge to get the football over the goal line for the Syracuse touchdown.
And some pushing and shoving afterwards. Banowitz for Syracuse, number 59, Mark Banowitz, is then into it with some Miami players, and Pasqualoni comes out yelling at him, get off the field. Donavan McNabb, it's senior day in the Carrier Dome, and Donavan McNabb so far is making it a memorable one. Nate Trout will attempt his 4th conversion of the day already, and Jim McConaughey signals Syracuse takes a timeout. Well, Syracuse does not have a timeout left here in the first half, but again, with a 30-7 lead, I don't think that's going to play a very big part.
No. Well, we tried to catch our breath after the first quarter, and I'm sure Miami's trying to do the same thing. 30-7. Who would have thought that Syracuse would have come out and been so dominant on special teams and offensively and defensively? They've done such a terrific job of forcing Miami to turn the football over. And you see Paul Pasqualoni down on the sideline trying to get his special team unit over on the sideline and talk with him. The first quarter stats, Miami, just take a look at the rushing yards. Syracuse 115, and they've only allowed 12 yards to the University of Miami. Total yards 134, Frank, to Miami only 40. And then time of possession, really Miami's had the ball but could do nothing with it. Too many turnovers and too many blown opportunities that Syracuse has capitalized on, making the score 30-7.
Yeah, Miami only giving up 113 yards per game on the ground, and Syracuse had 115 in the first quarter. So this Miami defense just not up to the task of this Syracuse offense today. And believe me, Syracuse has done it to a lot of teams this year. They pile up points big time, a 40-point per game average for the Syracuse offense, and very few people really have slowed them down. They put up, let's see, 33 against Tennessee, 38 at Michigan, 70 against Rutgers. NC State held them to 17, 63, 42, 45, 28, 28, and 38. Trout's kick and penalty flags fly. The kick was blocked, but flags flew.
Yeah, and Quincy Hips came right through and blocked the kick and then knocked Nate Trout on his backside.
So Jim McConaughey and his crew will sort it out.
Offside on the defense. Penalties, half the distance to the goal.
So what else can go wrong? Or maybe I shouldn't even ask that question.
Yeah, don't go there, Frank. It's on a day that it could happen. See if we can take a look to the middle of the football field. It might have been number 90, Quincy Hips, to the right side. It got an early start. And you see there, gets a piece of the football and then makes the kicker, Nate Trout, pay for his pleasure.
So Trout again out of the Johnson hold. And it is good. And with 14 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second quarter, it's Syracuse now 31 and Miami 7. And Syracuse just has done everything right, and Miami has done nothing right save for the one touchdown. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back from the Carrier Dome after this. The broadcast rights to today's telecast have been granted to Sports Channel Florida by ESPN Regional solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction, transmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of ESPN Regional or Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. Peter Ferris will kick off once again, and he's getting a workout. 16 minutes into this game. He's kicking off for the 5th time. Najee Davenport at the 4. Davenport across the 25 and gets up to the 30-yard line. Brought down by Vernon Banks, who's had a very busy day on special teams for the Orangemen. And Miami will start 1st and 10 with the ball at the 30 and just need to get something going offensively.
Well, that all started, yeah. Najee Davenport brings the ball out to the 31, so that's a good start for Miami. They have to take the ball down and score. We talk about the quick strike ability of Miami. They have to prove that they can do it against a tough team on the road.
Canes in their standardized set. This is James Jackson in giving Edgerrin James a break, and Jackson will pick up about 3. Bullock again on the tackle. Keith Bullock having a very busy day for the Orangemen. From that middle linebacker spot, Bullock 6'4", 220 junior. And he has been very active. James Jackson on the year, 457 yards, a 6.9 average, and 5 touchdowns. A very nice changeup to Edgerrin James. Davenport in at fullback once again. And this game is the first time we have seen that, and it's happened a couple of times this game on a 2nd and 7. Andre King in motion. Pitch to Jackson. Jackson has a crease. Jackson 45 and up to the 48-yard line. Quentin Harris, the safety, making the tackle. But James Jackson has a Miami first down.
Well, Frank, you touched on it, the average 6.9 from James Jackson. And when Najee's been in the game at fullback, the Canes have run to the short side of the field, and that's been their most effective play, just a short toss to the short side. And James Jackson makes the secondary for Syracuse pay by lowering his head. You see his season stats, 5 touchdowns on 66 rushes for 457. Miami desperately trying to move the chains to get on the scoreboard again.
14-yard pickup for Jackson on the last play. Andrew Fulcher, H-back. He was the man in motion. Covington with time, complete to Andre King at the Syracuse 40, and Phil Nash takes him down right there, but that's a pickup of 13 and another Miami first down.
Yeah, Phil Nash on the short side on the curl route, giving some ground that time to number 84, Andre King. He just runs a curl route down the right side of the football field. Covington has time. The protection was good on the play. You see a blitz from the outside from the linebackers, but Covington has plenty of time to step up and deliver the football on the curl route. And it looked like on the way back to the huddle, Ty Wise, number 64, looked like his ankle or knee was bothering him. Let's see how much he can play in this football game.
That is the Miami center, a position which they are not very deep at. On first down, Jackson, following Richard Mercier, will get only about a yard. Moreland Greenwood there, along with Bullock once again. Pickup of only a yard, 2nd and 9. 12:07 left to go second quarter. Syracuse with a 31-7 lead. It has been all orange as they have marched the ball up and down the field with the exception of 2 Miami interceptions. Leonard Myers and Quincy Hips picking up interceptions, and Hips' pick led to a Edger and James touchdown. Miami's only score of the day so far. On 2nd and 9, Jackson again. Not much room, tries to go outside. Jackson with a good stiff arm and finally dragged down by Quentin Harris at the Syracuse 35-yard line. That gains 4. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
Well, Syracuse that time, they're guessing right a lot, Frank, on defense. They brought Quentin Harris, the free safety from the wide side of the field, right side of your screen, number 29. He's not accounted for in the blocking scheme. You'll see number 29 Harris go to the outside, try to force Jackson out of bounds, but that's what Syracuse is doing on defense. They're guessing right a lot of times on 1st and 2nd down and making Miami come in with 3rd and long.
And a timeout now. Miami will take a timeout. They didn't have the right personnel group on the field. These are the kind of things that happen when you're down 31-7. Guys lose focus, and they're not on the field when they're supposed to be, or don't respond to the coach's call on the right personnel group. 11:39 to go second quarter. It's Syracuse 31, Miami 7. We'll be right back. Florida is your ticket to college football game day. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. for Saturday Morning College Kickoff, a pregame guide to the hottest college matchups. It's all right here on Sports Channel Florida. 11:39 left to go in the second quarter. Syracuse has run out to a 31-7 lead over Butch Davis's Hurricanes. Miami just trying to find a way to get back in this football game. They have a 3rd and 5 inside the Syracuse 35. Standard eye set. Syracuse walking everybody up into the box. They've got everybody within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Give to Jackson. Jackson pops through, but will be short of the first down. Picked up a couple of yards. Boy, if he could have avoided that one tackle, he was gone. Quentin Harris, the safety, making the tackle, but Syracuse sold out. They brought everybody within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage.
You're right, Frank. They had 11 players within 2 or 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. You see the free safety, the linebackers are all pinching. If this is a perfect play, it's hit or miss for Syracuse. They're either going to make a big play and stop Miami, or Miami's going to bust it right up the middle for a touchdown. And it looks like Miami's going to go for it on 4th down. They have the offensive team in the huddle. Looks like Miami will go for it on 4th down.
4th and a long 2. Syracuse trying to call timeout, but they don't have any, and it's going to be a penalty on Syracuse.
That's right. That's a 1st down.
They had 12 guys on the field, and Will Allen and Phil Nash both lined up at the right cornerback position, looking at each other going, what are you doing in the game?
I know.
And then the other guy saying, what are you doing in the game?
They had double coverage on the only wide receiver to the short side of the field. Syracuse has 12 people on the football field, and it looked like a little miscommunication from the sidelines on personnel. That'll give Miami a 1st down.
Keith Bullock rips his helmet off and screams at the coach, at the defensive coach on the sideline.
On the defense, 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. The penalty result in a 1st down.
So Miami catches a break there, and boy, if looks could kill, look at Paul Pasqualoni.
Yeah, he's been I haven't seen Paul smile much, but he should be. It's 31-7 right now. He's a little disappointed that they really caused the error on the sidelines with personnel, but you can see how hot he is under the collar. He's not hiding his emotions at all.
Well, like you said, he doesn't smile very much to begin with, but he's not real happy right now. They're going to reset the clock to 10:57 because the last play never happened, never got started.
That's a huge break for Miami. They get a 1st down on 4th down. They were going to roll the dice. And now they have a 1st down inside the Syracuse 30-yard line. Looks like around the 27-yard line. See if Miami goes back to the tight end or tries to go down the field on 1st down. They've been successful running the football, but only to the short side of the football field. And Butch Davis and staff on the sidelines want to encourage the sideline to stay in this football game. It's 31-7.
Now they just can't get the clock right. It's 1:05 now. It should be 10:57. And the fans at the Dome getting a little restless. 1-0-5-7. Now officials are going to come over, get on the phone.
Well, now this is your school, Frank. It isn't that hard to do up here, right?
Well, I have to admit. I mean, I did go here. Maybe the guy's punch drunk from putting up all the points on the board.
We thought it would be that way, but we thought it might be on both sides at the open of the show, but it's been all Syracuse right now.
Well, Miami came out of the box, kicked off, and Syracuse marched right down the field and scored. Got the ball back and scored a field goal. Got the ball back on a block punt and scored a touchdown, and Miami just has never been able to, ride those punches. We said before the game, how does Miami deal with adversity? And the answer in the first quarter was not very well. They didn't come out and respond to Syracuse's first drive, and the defense never really slowed them down until there were 17 points already on the board. You make a mistake on special teams, then after Miami scored their touchdown, Kevin Johnson takes the kickoff 99 yards, and any momentum you have going your way goes right back to Syracuse.
There's been a lot of big plays, and it's all been done by Syracuse, and they haven't been prejudiced. They haven't just said on offense, you go win the football game. They've done it on offense, they've done it on defense, and they've done it on special teams. They've had a block and a kickoff return for a touchdown. They've had numerous occasions on third down that the defense has come up. They've caused turnovers, and the offense and Donavan McNabb and the big play guy on the outside, Kevin Johnson has done this team. So right now, through a quarter and a half, they've done such a great job. And you see right there, they're trying to get the time clock to read 11:57. 10:57, I believe.
We can send a guy to the moon, but we can't put 10:57 on the clock.
And you can see the crowd here, a picture of that shot of the end zone. They've been in this football game to add to Miami and Butch Davis's problems. They've been very loud and very aggressive on the football field as well. So Miami gets the conversion on fourth down via the penalty, and they'll start at the Syracuse 27-yard line.
It's a tough place to play. Tennessee came in here and won on opening day, but traditionally when Syracuse trips up, it usually is early in the season. On first down, Covington to throw, going for Santana Moss, and he was all tied up with Will Allen. Well, so far today, Will Allen has really put the clamps on Santana Moss.
And you see there, Miami trying to make an adjustment. That was an intentional throw behind by Scott Covington. He was trying to make his receiver, Santana Moss, stop before Will Allen could actually stop and turn his hips and make a play on the ball. You'll see Covington throw to his right, but he'll purposely throw the football behind on a line to try to stop his receiver. But it just wasn't a close enough ball for Santana to make a play on.
2nd and 10 from the Syracuse 27. Draw to Jackson. Jackson across the 25 and to the 23-yard line. Keith Bullock again on the tackle for the Syracuse defense. That'll bring up 3rd and about 5 for Miami from the 23 of the Orange.
Well, the last time Syracuse was in this position, they brought a lot of pressure. On the play before, James Jackson almost brings it through, but there you see the speed of the middle linebacker, Keith Bullock. He leads the team in tackles. That time he makes a big play on 2nd down.
3rd and 5. And the Dome crowd gets loud again. Blitz coming. To the outside, caught by Davenport, stretching for the first down marker. It depends on the spot. They've got him at the 18-yard line.
He may come up about a half a football short. It depends on the spot, but it looked like he gave him a very favorable spot, and it is a first down. A nice effort on the outside by Najee Davenport. A great catch, and then the effort was even better. Look at the extension on the catch, and you see him stretch for the pylon or the down marker. I don't know if he got it. He got a very favorable spot. Take a look. His foot never steps out of bounds, but when he reaches for it, he is out of bounds.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he got a favorable mark there.
In any result, it's a first down for the Canes.
First down from the 17. Double tight end to the left of the formation. One wide receiver in, that's Andre King. Fulcher in motion. Give to Jackson. Jackson at the 15, hit by Bullock and spins forward to close to the 13-yard line. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen Keith Bullock play all year, as Duke Pettijohn a little slow to get up for the Orangemen, but Keith Bullock's been all over this field in the first half.
He's got great, tremendous speed. As you take a look at the injured Orangeman, Duke Pettijohn, as you said, Frank, the defensive end. This is a very physical football game out here today. Couldn't tell what happened at the point of attack. He's at the top of the screen, number 49. You see on Bubba Franks trying to come down the line. It looks like he just lost his footing and really got cut underneath him by the pileup.
Yeah, look, I thought he Took a blow to the head. But we'll let the Syracuse training staff figure this out. By the way, the head of sports medicine at the Syracuse University is Dr. Lowe, and his son is a wide receiver, Jeff Lowe, on the football team. We're going to take an injury timeout with 10:01 left to go in the second quarter, and Syracuse leading 31-7. Pettijohn is number 49 to the far right corner of the screen.
Let's take a look. Yeah, you're right, Frank. You know what? Bubba Franks was pushing him along the line of scrimmage, and it looked like his head just snapped on the right or the left shoulder of James Jackson's shoulder. He wasn't really ready to hit him because his teammate Keith Bullock had already made contact.
Pettijohn, 6'2", 236-pound sophomore from Mattapan, Massachusetts, and he is sitting up, which is a good sign. And Pettijohn will come off under his own steam. Maybe got a bell rung or a burner. Your head snaps like that, and you can get a burner pretty easily.
On that last possession, on that last play on first down, Syracuse is really over pursuing. I'd like to see if Miami has a play where they could actually look like it's an extension of a handoff and have Scott Covington break contain to come outside, because it looked like everybody was flowing to the football on first down.
Aaron Mosier, the only wide receiver in the formation. He's to the bottom of the screen. Double tight end, left side of the formation. Jackson again. Jackson trying to get the corner and cannot. Quentin Harris makes the tackle for the loss of a yard. Quentin Harris, 6 foot, 192-pound freshman from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and he has been a real find for the Orangemen this year. That's his 4th tackle for a loss. He's got 3 interceptions, 2 other breakups, has recovered a fumble and forced a fumble.
Well, right now Syracuse is matching Miami's speed on defense. The secondary's been coming up and making big plays all afternoon, and that time you see Quentin Harris along with Will Allen coming up for the Cuse.
3rd and 7. Again, only 1 wide receiver in for Miami. Fulcher in motion. Rollout, Covington. Too far for Davenport. So that will bring up a 4th and 7 for Miami. We'll see if they send the field goal team on to get points on, or they're going to go for it. They're going to send 3 wide receivers in.
They try to go to the short side of the field with a flood route with the tight end and the fullback. That time Covington tries to drop the football off to Nijay Davenport out of the fullback position. He had Bubba Franks down the field, but he was covered by Jason Poles. That time on 3rd down, they get nothing, and they will go for it on 4th and 7.
4th and 7 from the Syracuse 15. 3 wide receiver package in. Jackson the only running back. Again, Syracuse walking guys up on the line. Here comes the blitz. Covington, end zone, and knocked away by McIntyre, by Jason Poles. It looked like Moss had a touchdown, but Poles reached out and knocked it away. And Santana Moss, if you're gonna have a criticism, you got to go up and get that ball.
Well, actually, Santana Moss looked like he was going to make a play on the ball. He had Poles beat to the corner, but the throw brings him back to the backside. If the throw is where it should be, it would be a touchdown. And Santana Moss, as you said, took it for granted, Frank. He has to go up and get the football. He waited for the football to come to his chest. He needs to go up and get the football. But that was a great reaction by Poles to turn back away from the way he was running to get to the football.
It was a good play by Poles and not a good throw by Covington. But again, Moss has got to elevate and go up and get that ball. You can't, as you said, take it for granted that the guy's not going to stick an arm out and make a play. Again, full house backfield for Syracuse. They take over on the 15, leading 31-7. Conrad hit by Nate Webster in the hole, and that holds it to a gain of a yard. A look at Jason Poles, the safety, the senior. And we'll take one more look. Again, as you said, John, the throw should be more toward the corner.
Well, on Scott Covington's credit, he was under duress trying to throw the football. He had someone coming at him at his knees, but he still had enough time to throw the football out to the back of the end zone. If that ball is where it should be, that's a touchdown.
2nd and call it 8, as the ball just shy of the 17-yard line. 3 wide receivers in for the Orangemen. McNabb checking the wristband for the checkoff. McNabb reloads to the other side, complete out at the 22-yard line, as Darrell Daniel made the catch, and Leonard Myers and Michael Smith combined on the tackle. Short pickup of about 4. It'll bring up 3rd down for Syracuse. Still about 4 to go.
Donavan did a nice job of finding his secondary receiver. He audible to the quick hitch on the outside to the short side of the field. But number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, did a nice job of disguising coverage, and McNabb had enough savvy to go to the wide side for the completion.
3rd and 4 for the Orangemen. McNabb with time. Now he's going to take off. Tripped up, gets across the 25, and has the first down. Well, he had a lane and he took it. Picked up 6 and got the first.
And that's the responsibility of number 52, Nate Webster. He's right in the perfect position to make a play, and he just trips up McNabb, but it didn't get enough of him. McNabb has great balance and actually lunges forward for the first down. You see Webster in zone coverage, but he's in position to make the play. Just gets a piece of him, but not a big enough piece to hold McNabb short of the first down.
First down from the 27. Conrad pops through the hole and takes a big hit, lost the football on the way down. They're going to call him down, but oh boy, I don't know about that. They're going to call him down. He took a pop.
Looked like Al Blades came in from the secondary
and laid his shoulder into him. And unless they were blowing it dead that his momentum forward was stopped, that ball definitely came out before he was on the ground.
And Conrad really took a shot and got his upper body bent over the bottom half of his body, and he's going to stay down on the carpet. That was a heck of a shot. It looked like his left knee was pinned underneath him, but that was a heck of a shot from the secondary, and this aggressive Miami defense coming up and trying to force a turnover. You see the ball just coming out there. I don't know if the whistle was blown or not. I think his
could make an argument that his knee was down and his forward progress was stopped.
I think his forward progress was stopped, but I heard a whistle. Al Blades made an aggressive play. It's a bang-bang play, and it goes against Miami.
It's actually a pickup of close to 7 yards on the Conrad carry, but Al Blades really stuck him. And Conrad a little woozy as they assist him off the field.
Yeah, he got pinned up. His leg, especially, looked like his left knee was pinned underneath him, and then with the force of the hit from Al Blades really bent his body backwards.
2nd and 3 for the Orange. 6:27 left to go second quarter. Syracuse with a comfortable 31-7 lead. Give to McIntosh. McIntosh hit by Fitzgerald, and McIntosh up close to the first down and looks like he has it at the 38-yard line.
Huge hole to the left side by Syracuse. Take a look at the backup fullback, number 35, Nick Sudano. That puts a nice block on Dan Morgan, but just an enormous hole off the left side. And it really looks big because Kyle McIntosh is only 5'8", and he's scooting around the left tackle. He did a nice job on that play for Syracuse's first down.
From the Syracuse 38 with 6:07 left to go second quarter. It has been all Syracuse. Sudano and McIntosh, the running backs. McNabb on the option. Pitch to McIntosh. McIntosh to the 36, and that is it. Damian Lewis and Michael Smith out there, and that will be a loss. Loss of 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 12. That time Miami defends the option well, but they're still not hitting McNabb. That defensive end, I think, really has got to crash down. Quincy Hips has got to crash down and make McNabb pay the price if he's going to pitch the ball.
It must be by design that they want Quincy Hips to play in space and let everybody else try to pursue to the football, because that's the 2nd or 3rd time that Hips has had a chance to really force the issue a little bit earlier. That time, luckily enough for Miami, they had enough pursuit to get the pitch and tackle McIntosh.
2nd and 12 from the 46. McNabb with time. Complete to Jackson. Maurice Jackson making the catch at the 46-yard line. That's a pickup of about 10. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Nice route by the sophomore wide receiver. He only had 9 catches coming into the game. You see the quarterback McNabb get back, no pressure, nobody in his face, and throws a rope on the outside, the curl route right in front of the strong safety and free safety Edward Reed and Al Blades. Leonard Myers had the outside coverage, but that'll bring up a 3rd and short for Syracuse.
Syracuse needs to get it just across the 48-yard line. Full house backfield. James Mungro in there, along with D. Brown. This is Mungro. Midfield, Al Blades has him, but not before Mungro got the first down. It was only a 3-yard gain, but it was enough to move the chains with 4:21 left to go in the second quarter.
They come in with 3 offensive backs, almost in a wishbone. Mungro, number 23, gets the first down. The conversion on 3rd down. Another big hole off the left side. You have to credit Banowitz and Kiernan, 59 and 61, the tackle and guard for Syracuse, doing a nice job providing running lanes for that Syracuse running game.
Clock moving again, 4:13 to go second quarter. It's Syracuse 31, Miami 7. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. D. Brown now the tailback, Nick Sedano the fullback, and 3 wide receivers in for the Orangemen. There's D. Brown. Brown stood up, and Nate Webster will throw in for a 2-yard loss. Miami reacting well to the run that time.
Well, that's the speed and the aggression you like to see out of the Miami defense. Right away at the point of attack, the Miami defensive front does a nice job of winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Nate Webster stands up, number 6, D. Brown, and number 44, Dan Morgan, comes in for the kill shot. Take a look right there. Webster in perfect position. He's just standing and the running back up, and the rest of the posse coming. Linebacker Dan Morgan and Michael Smith also in on the tackle.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. At the Syracuse 49. McNabb will pull it down and run. Skips away from a couple of guys. Look at this magician. He is unbelievable. Donavan McNabb, 51-yard touchdown run.
A design quarterback option, Frank. Donavan McNabb goes back 3 steps, tucks the football, and then you see why he's set all these Syracuse rushing records as a quarterback, passing records as a quarterback. Take a look again. Just goes back 3 or 4 steps, takes it and runs, but nobody really touches him. Makes a great move about 5 yards down the field, and now it's a foot race, and most of the time, the 6'3", 220-pound senior quarterback from Syracuse is going to win that battle. Just a great run in open field, and that pushes the lead to Syracuse 37 and Miami 7.
He is, I said it during the play, he is just a magician. There is just no way around it. His ball handling ability, his ability to run and make something out of nothing. Nate Trout's conversion is up and good. And with 3:05 left to go second quarter, it's Syracuse 38 and Miami 7.
This isn't something the rest of the country hasn't seen before. Donavan McNabb did this last year to Miami on a quarterback, on a quarterback draw. No one touches him. This time he does it from over 50 yards out. Take a look at the athletic ability, how many Miami tacklers miss, and Miami has great speed. Donavan McNabb is separating from a lot of these Miami defenders. Then he makes the last move inside about the 3-yard line, and Donavan McNabb, you can tell he's very happy. He's a senior. Great job.
3:05 left to go second quarter. It's all Orangemen. We'll be right back on Sports Channel. Basketball fans, not too late to order your season tickets now. The women's team has its home opener Tuesday against Coppin State and its Big East opener next Saturday. Both games at 7 o'clock at the Knight Sports Complex on campus. The men's team has its Big East opener on December 8th against Boston College at 7:30 p.m. in Miami Arena. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for tickets today. Well, coming into this game, Miami was having a pretty good defensive year, John, averaging only 18 points a game against, but it is going to be inflated in this game, and they've got UCLA looming next week. They've given up 38 in the first half. Najee Davenport for the Canes. Davenport still on his feet. Across the 30 to the 32-yard line, Moreland Greenwood making the tackle for Syracuse. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Miami from that point. Najee Davenport, the freshman out of Miami Central High School.
He's done a nice job on 2 returns, getting them both out over the 30-yard line. Last time he pushed the ball to the 31. This time he gets it to the 32. But you said it, Frank. The Syracuse team has done what they wanted to do offensively. 10 plays, 85 yards. McNabb, a 51-yard quarterback draw for the touchdown.
Edgerrin James back in at running back for the Hurricanes in the standard I set. Give to James. Across the 40, 35 to the 40 and 42-yard line. Good pickup of 9 on first down. Brian Coleman, number 78, and Jason Poles, number 7, the safety, combining on the tackle.
Yeah, nice run right up the middle by Edgerrin James. He's rested, and he was on the sidelines for about 2 or 3 series. That time, he comes right up the middle. Just a quick trap play, it looked like. Richard Mercier coming from left to right. It looks like Miami doing a nice job at the point of attack for a 9-yard gain.
We get word that the Syracuse fullback Rob Conrad has a sprained left knee. This is James for a first down and more into Syracuse territory, down to the 44-yard line. Quentin Harris, the safety, again making the tackle. But that is a Miami first down, as James with a big burst.
Robert Hall did an excellent job at the point of attack on number 98, Ricky Simpkins. Left of your screen, you see him just manhandle Simpkins at the point of attack, and then Edgerrin James with a full head of steam goes right up the middle again, and on consecutive plays, Miami ripping off big gains for first downs.
A look at Edgerrin's numbers. Of course, he had 1,002 coming into the game. They fake to James. Covington overthrows Monroe Fulcher, who was well covered by Greenwood and Bullock.
You get to see the speed of the middle linebacker, Keith Bullock, that time on Mondrell Fulcher. Usually Fulcher and Bubba Franks have the advantage in the middle of the football field, but that time, the middle of your screen, number 33, watch the speed. He comes underneath the tight end. Watch him catch up. He's in pursuit right now, but watch him catch up and put himself in position. If that ball's low, he can cut in front and deflect it, or worse, possibly intercept it.
2nd and 10 from the Syracuse 44. Fake to James. Covington under pressure. Going deep, and that ball is overthrown. Flags down as Moss was impeded on his way to the football. That'll be a penalty against the Orange.
And Syracuse gambles again. They're really coming with a lot of pressure and putting a lot of heat on Scott Covington. Jason Poles from the strong safety position comes in on a delayed blitz and really gets to Scott Covington, making him throw the football possibly a little bit earlier and not as accurate as he would like. This ball should be to the outside. McIntosh, a little hand fighting going on there. That's probably what they called going down the field on Santana Moss. But here's the heat on Covington. You see a lot of pressure up the middle. J.R. Johnson, 45, and Coleman, 78, along with number 98, Simpkins, really making it uncomfortable in the pocket for Scott Covington.
Penalty called on McIntosh. And that'll be a first down as you look at the kicker, Peter Ferris, who does the kickoff chores for Syracuse.
He hit Nijay Davenport on the first 31-yard return, and it looked like he made really a head-on collision with Nijay, which obviously Nijay ended up really punishing the kicker, and it looks like he's very uncomfortable going to the Syracuse locker room.
And Rob Conrad already has gone in with that sprained left knee. But it is still 38-7 Syracuse. 1:50 to go first half. Monroe Fulcher in motion. Covington on the rollout. Going back the other way, Andre King, and that throw just got away from Scott, intercepted by Nash. Ball slipped out of Covington's hands clearly, and Nash has some blockers. There goes Nash at the 40. And Andre King hauls him down at midfield. Second interception thrown by Covington today, and John, I think that ball just clearly slipped out of his hand.
Well, it just got away from him, and I'm not sure if Scott Covington tried to put that one on a yo-yo. Maybe he wanted to throw it and then tried to pull it back and pull it down at the last minute. Let's take a look if we can see the release of Scott Covington. He tries to move the pocket on his own, gets plenty of depth, but I think he just what he did was overstride on the football. His stride was very wide, and the football just got away from him. Really a floating duck going down the football field into the waiting arms of Phil Nash, and Phil Nash does an excellent job of picking up some blockers down his own sideline, and finally gets tackled right on the 50-yard line, but another turnover for the University of Miami via an interception.
Syracuse goes to the shotgun with 1:34 left to go first half. Flags down and whistles blow, and there is no play.
Looked like 59, Mark Banowitz, the left tackle for Syracuse, moving a little early.
Good ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat the down.
I think you nailed it, partner. It'll bring up a 1st and 15 with 1:34 to go first half. Syracuse just has everything they've touched has turned to goal today pretty much, with the exception of 2 interceptions, and that was just a little speed bump for this Syracuse offense.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of controlling the game really in all 3 phases right now. Miami has been outplayed the first 2 quarters clearly.
On 1st and 15, again McNabb out of the shotgun. Blitz coming, bad snap, and of course it bounces right back to McNabb, and he's trying to make a play and completes it to Jackson at midfield. Pushed out at the Miami 47-yard line. It's a gain of 3 and a flag down. A late hit on Miami.
Yeah, it looked like number 20, Ed Reed, just throws the receiver into the bench. Number 3, Maurice Jackson, and that'll add to Miami's headache. Not only do they not get the turnover on the bad shotgun snap, it bounces right to Donavan McNabb.
Well, he used to play on the basketball team,
yeah.
so look at this. It bounces. You talk about a perfect
bounce. Now it's
bounce.
a fast break going to the outside. McNabb trying to find the strings on the football, delivers it to his receiver, Jackson, but now watch the bad play on the Miami sidelines. He's done. The play's done. And it looked like number 20, Ed Reed, just spins and tosses the wide receiver from Syracuse into the bench. That'll be called for a personal foul.
What do you think? That didn't look really, I've seen a lot worse.
I've seen a lot worse, but the officials were right there. That's the problem. Edward Reed, he didn't have to do that. The receiver was already out of bounds. He could have just shoved him and laid off, but he finished off the tackle, and that gets you.
Well, of course, in a game where everything's gone wrong for the Canes and everything gone right from Syracuse.
Why not?
A bad shotgun snap turns into a one-hopper to McNabb, and he makes a play out of it. Just incredible. Minute 26 to go, first down, just inside the Miami 33. Again out of the shotgun. McNabb under some pressure over the middle, complete to Darrell Daniel at the 20, and Daniel to the 17-yard line. Edward Reed and Al Blades combining on the tackle.
Syracuse going no huddle. They'll line up on the football and try to get a play off with a minute 19 left to go before halftime.
An absolute nightmare of a first half for the Hurricanes. First and 10, Syracuse, just inside the 17. Again out of the shotgun. Over the middle, Nate Webster nearly had an interception. Nate Webster, his first pass breakup of the year, and nearly had his first interception.
Yeah, almost a great play by number 52, Webster, trying to get to his receiver, Pat Woodcock, the wide receiver. He's waiting for him to clear Nate Webster, but Nate sticks out his left hand just at the last second. His arm comes up. It would have been a tough catch for the interception, but a nice deflection because it looked like the receiver was open down the middle.
Again out of the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Blitz coming, shovel pass, D. Brown. D. Brown run down by Edward Reed at the 8-yard line.
Just a perfect call. Miami coming with a secondary blitz from the outside. The shovel pass goes inside, and everything is going orange for the Orangemen right now.
What, their coordinators have made a lot of right calls in this game. You see the time remaining.
I want to go to the casino with these guys because every time they've been right on.
I'll tell you. 3rd and 2. McNabb on a sneak and gets down to the 1.
Now, no signal yet. They don't have any timeouts remaining.
Well, they have to stop the clock for the first down.
Right. He'll probably go right with the quarterback sneak right here.
1st and goal. McNabb sneaking. No signal yet. Touchdown now. The umpire signals touchdown. And with 26 seconds to go in the first half, it's turned into the nightmare on M Street for Miami. Syracuse leads at 44-7.
And you just can't say enough good things about Donavan McNabb and his play. He makes it happen for Syracuse on senior day. His last game in front of the Carrier Dome crowd, and these fans are appreciating what Syracuse is doing, and Miami just cannot get it on track. Whatever they've tried has not worked offensively. Defensively, it's been all Donavan McNabb all over the place.
Well, Nate Trout, whose leg may be getting tired by this point, attempting his 6th conversion of the first half. Out of the Kevin Johnson hold, and it's good. And with 26 seconds left to go in the second quarter, it's Syracuse 45, Miami 7. Another look at McNabb's 1-yard touchdown sneak.
All he did was hide behind his center, Corey Bode, number 55, and you see McNabb go in and get celebration hugs from his offensive lineman.
It's 45-7 Syracuse. We'll be right back here on Sports Channel. A look at the Syracuse scoring drive following the Phil Nash interception. 6 plays, 50 yards in a minute and 8. Donavan McNabb, his 3rd touchdown run of the second quarter. Syracuse has put 6 touchdowns on the board against the Hurricanes. Miami, coming into the game, had allowed 19 touchdowns in 9 games. And Syracuse has put up 6 in the first half. Nate Trout now assuming the kickoff duties. Peter Ferris, you saw him go to the locker room with the neck brace on. James Jackson and Najee Davenport. And the short kick is going to be fielded by Delvin Brown at the 27. Delvin Brown across the 35 to the 39-yard line. He's brought down. Banks again in on the tackle along with Willie Ford, number 15, a backup defensive back. And Miami has it 1st and 10 at their 40. Scott Covington picked off twice here in the first half. He's thrown only 6 so far in the season. But, John, 3 of those have come in the last 2 games.
Well, we talked about it in the open, not turning the football over on the road, especially with an explosive offense on the other side. And that's exactly what has happened. They've given Syracuse terrific field position, and their offense is capitalized.
First down, Miami. And Covington will take the kneel down. And, well, the first half couldn't end soon enough for the Hurricanes. As you see the clock tick down, and this crowd at the Carrier Dome just going wild as the Orangemen, as I said, I haven't seen them play every game this year, but this, against the caliber of competition, this has got to be the best football they've played all year.
Well, it's been such an impressive first half for Syracuse. They've done everything right. In Miami, everything they've tried has really been wrong.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with our halftime activities, highlights, stats, and more here on Sports Channel. It's Syracuse 45, Miami 7. Back at halftime at the Carrier Dome, and you see the rather shocking scoreline. Syracuse 45 and Miami 7, the most points ever scored in a Carrier Dome in one half. Let's take a look at the numbers for the first half. The rushing yardage. Well, we said before the game, John, that if you can't stop Syracuse on the ground, you've got no chance to win, and that certainly seems like it's true.
Well, you don't have to go any further than that first line. You see rushing yards, 209 yards for Syracuse. Miami only managing to get 66 yards, but they've done a terrific job. Total yards, they've held Miami to just over 100 to 112 yards. The Syracuse 3 phases of their football game, special teams, offense, and defensively, they've really outplayed Miami clearly in the first half.
And Donavan McNabb, 99 yards rushing of those 209 and 3 touchdowns. He has the Orangemen on top, 45-7. We'll have the second half kickoff from the Carrier Dome right after this on Sports Channel. Butch Davis's job now to get his team to focus on the second half, not to quit, and then to bounce back next week and try to handle UCLA, an undefeated team, and that's a tall order.
That's a tough task for Butch Davis and staff. I wish I was a fly on the wall at halftime just to be in that Miami locker room. Down 45-7. What does Butch Davis say to his team to get him motivated to come back out in this second half? Because clearly in the first half, everything they did was the wrong thing to do. They try to make a big play. It was an interception. They try to make a big hit and blitz. Donavan McNabb burns them for a 51-yard touchdown. So everything they did was wrong in the first half.
Nate Trout to kick it off. Jackson and Davenport deep. This will be Najee Davenport at the 9. Davenport has a hole. Najee Davenport, look at the burst, and finally dragged down at the Syracuse 39-yard line, a touchdown-saving tackle by Ian McIntosh. But that is the speed of Najee Davenport. At 235 pounds, he has got some serious burst.
Yeah, a nice job, and I think that's a great addition to this kickoff team, putting Najee back there and giving him an opportunity to showcase his power and his speed, coming right up the middle of your screen, right through the middle of the Syracuse special teams, and that's a great start for this third quarter. Great way to come out of the locker room, see if they can get a quick score.
Scott Covington, the quarterback. Standardized set for the Hurricanes. Give to Edgerrin James. James nowhere to go. Drop for a loss. Jason Poles, the safety, making the tackle for a 2-yard loss. Covington's numbers in the first half. And John, in the last 2.5 games, he has 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions.
Well, a lot like the Temple numbers where he was 9 for 19. This time he's 6 for 16 for 46 yards and 2 picks. Scott Covington not playing big in a big game, but he has a whole half to try to redeem himself now against this tough Syracuse defense.
Well, he's not alone. It's hard to pick a Miami player who's really played well. Give to Davenport. He'll get back the lost yardage and maybe 1 more. Ball came loose, but well after the whistle. It'll be 3rd and 9. Keith Bullock, number 33, in on another tackle. Najee Davenport seeing extensive action in the fullback spot in this game. Has a little different look for Miami. Trying to get 2 quality runners into the game at the same time.
I guess Miami trying just to stick. The game's 45-7. I was surprised they run on back-to-back downs after getting a huge kickoff return deep in Syracuse's territory, but now they have a long 3rd and 9, it looks like, to convert.
It is 3rd and 9. Mondrell Fulcher set in the backfield as an H-back. Syracuse shows blitz. Here they come. Fulcher wide open at the 35. Fulcher gets a good block from Moss and shoved out of bounds at the 23-yard line. The Syracuse crowd looking for a flag, an illegal block in the back, but the referees do not throw the flag, and Miami will have a first down.
Well, you called it, Frank. That's a great block on the outside. They gamble again. Jason Poles, number 7, the top of your screen, comes on a blitz, but they bust the coverage. They leave number 18, Mondrell Fulcher, out in the flat. Now, he does a great job of finding his blocking downfield. Moss does a nice job blocking down the field to enable Fulcher to get the first down.
From the Syracuse 22, James at the 20, and then he stood up. Keith Bullock knocks him down. He got maybe a yard. Well, this is the way the game started off from the running phase for the Hurricanes. As you see Edgerrin James' numbers on the day, he had 10 for 61 in the first half, lost a yard on his first carry of the second half.
And those 60 yards have all come tough. Nothing's been easy for Edgerrin James today. That offensive line for Miami really not rising to the task of trying to establish the line of scrimmage. You have to give credit to that Syracuse defensive front. Those front 4 and the linebackers, the 3 behind them, have done an excellent job pursuing to the football.
On 2nd and 9, Moss in motion. Covington under pressure, pass through the hands of Andre King. And Covington took a hit from the blitzing linebacker, Stan Gibbs.
That ball may have been deflected by Phil Nash before it got to Andre King. I'm not sure, but a nice job of staying in the pocket, standing tall in the pocket by Covington. He tries to throw it. He gets hit right as he releases the football, and I think that ball was deflected by number 10, Phil Nash, just as it got to the receiver, Andre King. But Covington took a heck of a shot from the backside.
Moreland Greenwood, number 52, laid the lumber on it. 3rd and 9 for the Hurricanes. Davenport in motion. Again, Syracuse with the blitz. Covington, pass knocked away by Poles. John, you would think that the way Syracuse is blitzing that the middle would be soft, but Miami is trying to attack it on the outside.
Yeah, you would think so, but Syracuse is doing a good job of getting. You see the safety come off the hash. That's a deception that you have. You think that the middle is going to be open, but Syracuse is doing a nice job schematically, defensive backfield-wise, that they're getting people in the right spots.
Andy Crossland lines up for a 39-yard field goal attempt. Popovich the holder. Crossland's kick, plenty of distance, and it is good. And with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, Miami puts a field goal up. It is 45-10 as Crossland knocks through the field goal. He is now 6 of 9 on the season. But right now, that is like a fly bouncing off King Kong with a 45-10 game.
You're right. Butch Davis is just trying to establish something possibly for next week and next season. Right now, they're coming out. Realistically, they want to come out and play well, but they're really out of the football game at 45-10. What he probably told his team at halftime was just to establish what we wanted to do in the first half, and they did that coming out of the locker room.
12:29 left to go 3rd quarter. It's Syracuse by 35. We'll be right back on Sports Channel. We've got a big game for you next Saturday as the University of Miami Hurricanes take on the 2nd-ranked UCLA Bruins. Our coverage begins at 11:30 p.m. right here on Sports Channel Florida. And with Cade McNown and that offense coming to town, it's going to be a sleepless week for Miami defensive coordinator Bill Miller following this performance today where Donavan McNabb and the Orangemen have torn up the Miami defense, a defense which has played really well for the vast majority of this season.
Really have, and I'm surprised at the team speed by Syracuse and the precision of the execution that they've had offensively and defensively. They've done a great job defensively of trying to confuse Scott Covington with their defensive secondary and the lineman assignments. We talked about that earlier, of trying to assign a big body on a big body, but they've gotten pressure on Scott Covington, and that's made him erratic today.
Kevin Johnson and Kyle McIntosh back to receive. Johnson already with a 100-yard kickoff return in this game. Todd Severs, the freshman, will kick it off. Pooches it down. Gibbs fumbles it. Picks it up, and Najee Davenport making a tackle on special teams at the Syracuse 27-yard line. And Najee, God, boy, I'll tell you what, he went down there like a freight train and hit him.
He's becoming a special teams guru. Najee doing a nice job returning the football. This time on the special teams on the kickoff cover, he goes down the middle of the field and swallows up the Syracuse special team.
There's the numbers on McNabb for the first half. 8 of 12, 67 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but it's his feet that have done the most serious damage.
Yeah, especially on the option and the quarterback draw, the big 51-yard touchdown.
Nick Sedano in at fullback. Rob Conrad injuring a knee in the first half. Kyle McIntosh, the tailback, to give to McIntosh. And he picks up about 5 on first down. Derek Ham, number 71, making the tackle for the Hurricanes. Really haven't called the name of a Hurricane defensive tackle today, John. The tackles, Damian Lewis and Matt Sweeney, they just haven't been really involved. Syracuse has been doing a good job blocking on the interior. And when you don't hear their names, that's trouble for the Miami defense.
You're right, and the linebackers have really been catching running backs, and they haven't been holding up that offensive line, the guards and tackles.
Rod Mack in at linebacker now, replacing Dan Morgan. Give us to the fullback, Sedano. He picks up about a yard. Nate Webster in on that play for the Hurricanes. And it brings up 3rd and about 4 for the Orangemen. Well, Dan Morgan, who has had the broken thumb the last couple of weeks and stitches in that same hand, clearly has not been the same player the last 2 games. And so Miami just using Rod Mack right now and giving Dan a break. There's no sense in a 45-10 game, risking further injury. But it seems clear to me that Dan, while he's been involved in a lot of tackles, is not the same kind of playmaker he was before that thumb injury. On 3rd down, McNabb, quick look in, complete to Lowe at the 41-yard line, and that is a first down. Al Blades making the tackle. Jeff Lowe with his first reception.
Jeff Lowe getting down the field just beyond the first down marker and has enough yardage for the first down. Just a quick drop after the play fake, 3-step drop, and then a nice ball to the short side. Just on the quick hitch, you see the aggressive tackle by Al Blades with the left forearm coming underneath Lowe's chin, but he held on to the football, and that's an Orange first down.
And the officials signaling for their timeout as their Miami player is down at the 40-yard line. That looks to be Al Blades. That was a rather delayed reaction as Al Blades made the tackle, got up, started to walk back to the huddle, and now is down at the 40-yard line. Take a look at the hit. It was Blades who delivered the blow on Lowe.
He comes in from the middle of the football field, and he comes in with a lot of speed. Looks like he makes the tackle, maybe got the wind knocked out of him, because it looked like he's walking off the football field with his helmet off. Not sure exactly what happened on the play, but he made a nice aggressive tackle coming in from the free safety position.
Well, Blades comes out and Delvin Brown in at safety. Nothing obvious on that replay. What might have happened to Al Blades. There's 10:54 left to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 45-10 Syracuse. It's been the Donavan McNabb show on senior day here at the Carrier Dome, and he certainly has not disappointed.
No, anybody that bought a ticket to today's performance was not disappointed in Donavan McNabb. He's made probably around 50,000 plus in this Carrier Dome. Very happy and excited that he's played for them the last 4 years, and he hasn't disappointed today.
John, give us your opinion. How much of a shot does he have in the NFL as a quarterback?
Well, I think he has a great shot in the NFL as a quarterback. He throws the football well enough to get by. He's got great toughness. He looks like he has great awareness at the quarterback position. And then you have that factor that a lot of the guys don't have, that athletic ability, that Cordell Stewart type of mentality, the McNair type of mentality, and Brunell, guys like that can make plays, bad plays into good plays, and he has that knack for doing that, and he's done it on a consistent basis for 4 years.
Now, you can tell it wasn't going to be Miami's day clearly when they snapped one in the shotgun over his head. It took one bounce right back into his hands, and he made a play out of it. 1st and 10, Orange at their 42. On the option again, McIntosh. Got away from Fitzgerald and got away some more. Finally taken down by Quincy Hibbs. Well, that looked like it was going to be about a 4-yard loss, and it turned into a 6-yard gain. Nifty move by Kyle McIntosh.
McIntosh is tough to corner down. He's 5'8", 182 pounds. He's a senior. Watch him in not a lot of space on the outside. Miami does a great job. They got everybody in the right position, but he escapes with his speed. You see number 71 Ham and number 51 Mack. They overrun the play, and that allows McIntosh on the option play to cut back inside for a 7-yard gain.
Numbers on McIntosh, and that's exactly what Syracuse wants and not what the Hurricanes had in mind. 2nd and 3. McIntosh again. Into the pile, and this time goes down in the arms of Nate Webster. Picked up about 1.5 yards. It'll be 3rd and a little over a yard.
Yeah, Webster steps into the hole. That's one of the first times you've seen a linebacker untouched get in right at the line of scrimmage. The defensive tackles have not done a good job of getting those linemen off the linebackers, but this time you see Nate Webster step into the hole, very aggressive, and they held McIntosh to a gain of maybe a yard and a half. So it's going to be a 3rd and 1 coming up for the Orange.
Syracuse brings in the full house. Matt Bedoin, who's normally a defensive end, puts on number 91 and lines up as a tight end. McNabb, whistles blow as he handed off to Mungro, and this play never got off, at least if you listen to the officials. So they'll mark a penalty. It would seem to be against Syracuse. If they blow the play dead, that is normally the case. 9:16 left to go.
We'll start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat the down.
Let's take another look. And did you see who it was, John?
Couldn't tell. It just looked like the offensive
right
line.
Side. Yeah, somebody on the right side, I think, went early. So they marched off 5. And it'll make it a 3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers in for the Orangemen.
Go, go.
Now, pass batted down by Matt Sweeney.
Caught by the fullback,
wow,
I believe.
Caught by Sedano, and that'll be a loss of a couple of yards. It went right back into the arms of Nick Sedano.
Well, everything that's happening for Syracuse is happening in a fortunate way. Could be a deflection for an interception, but it comes right back into the fullback's arms. Nick Sedano, you see there, a nice job by the defensive front from Miami. It looked like number 98, Matt Sweeney, gets up and gets a batted ball down, but it goes right to the fullback for Syracuse.
First punt of the day for Syracuse, fielded by Moss. Santana still on his feet and finally goes down at the 30-yard line. And a late penalty flag comes in, flying in from about 30 yards. That was a heck of a throw. That may set a record for penalty flag tossing.
It might be on number 26, Mosier, for the Hurricanes. He was tussling with the kicker, it looked like, number 13, Doug Duncan.
Personal foul, face mask. On the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
15 yards against the Orangemen. Let's take one more look. You could get Santana for a face mask there, and there
it is
the pull.
A nice call, but a very late call. There was some pushing and shoving going around the pile, but that was the correct call.
Matt Klaus, the backup linebacker, number 51, guilty of the infraction. And there's a timeout on the field. 8 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. It's Syracuse 45, Miami 10. We'll be right back from the Carrier Dome after this. The Canes and you for $42. Now there's a great deal. Just $42 gets you 5 general admission tickets, 5 game programs, and 5 regular Coca-Colas for the UCLA game next Saturday, December 5th. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for tickets today. A chance to see Cade McNown and that UCLA offense. 8:18 to go, 3rd quarter here at the Carrier Dome. Frank Fortin and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. It's been all Syracuse through 3.5 quarters. On first down, to give to James, following Mercier. James will pick up a couple. Stan Gibbs, number 31, has him around the legs and is credited with the tackle. These Syracuse linebackers, particularly Gibbs and Bullock, John, have just had outstanding days.
You're right. You've been calling Bullock and Gibbs the entire day. They're right there, 31 and 33. Watch the closing speed on both of these linebackers. They can really run. They remind me of the Miami tandem linebackers with Webster and Morgan. They run from sideline to sideline, and they held Edrin there to only a 2-yard gain.
2nd and 8 for Miami. 7:44 to go, 3rd quarter. Covington with play fake.
Watch out.
Pressure from the backside. Fumble. Pettijohn got the sack. Syracuse has the football. Jeff Pilon, number 95, comes up with the football as Duke Pettijohn came from the backside and sacked Scott Covington, forcing the third Miami turnover of the day.
As a quarterback, there's really nothing you can do in that situation. You don't know that your offensive tackle was beaten on the left side. You see number 77 Hall to the outside, just gets a speed rush up the middle, up the outside of the football field by Pettyjohn. He causes the fumble. It bounces, another great bounce right to the waiting arms of Mark Pilon, number 95, or Pilon, number 95, and he's waiting there to catch the football off of the carpet, but there's nothing you can do if you're Scott Covington. You're waiting in the pocket, you're looking downfield, and you get popped from behind, and that's Miami's third turnover on this afternoon.
Mark Pilon from Nepean, Ontario, 6'5", 262-pound senior, made the recovery. Syracuse 1st and 10 at the Miami 36. McNabb faking the pitch. Going deep down the middle for Johnson and overthrows him in the end zone. Al Blades and Edward Reed on the chase.
That was actually a tough throw for McNabb, even though his wide receiver Johnson, number 12, had position on one of the defensive backs, number 20, Ed Reed. The problem was number 7, Al Blades, was out in front of the wide receiver where he wanted to lead him down the football field. You see Blades to the inside. That was a tough position for McNabb to fit the football in. He tried to put a lot of air under it, but nice positioning by number 7, Al Blades.
2nd and 10 for Syracuse, and they're telling the crowd, be quiet, we can't hear down here. 3 wide receivers in the formation. On the option, D. Brown with the pitch. Brown to the outside, popped out of bounds by Leonard Myers, and again a penalty flag as Miami was hit late.
Yeah, Quincy Hibbs was chasing him down from behind, and he was going to hit somebody. It just had that look. He was chasing the play from all the way from the far sideline, and Quincy Hibbs just made a bad play on the Miami sideline.
And you saw Butch Davis yank the thumb and pull Quincy Hibbs out of the game.
D. Brown was running on the outside. You see Quincy Hibbs, he's going to deliver a pop to somebody. He just has to find somebody in a blue jersey, and a very bad decision by the Miami defensive lineman.
Personal foul, lays it out of bounds on the defense. 15 yards.
Personal foul costs Miami 15.
First down.
And they'll mark it off down to the 16-yard line. Penalty's not really much of a factor for Miami in this game, but that is their second personal foul. They got Edward Reed for one in the first half, and Hibbs guilty here in the second half. Michael Barreau, number 93, comes in to replace Hibbs as Butch Davis says, you lose your discipline, you're coming out of the game. From the 16, Sedano, the fullback, keeps the pile moving. Chevin Marshall and Michael Barreau combining on the tackle. Marshall in at middle linebacker. I saw Nate Webster on that last replay grab his right hand.
Yeah, he grabbed his hand, he went to the sidelines, then one play, and he came right back into the football game. As you see, number 41, Chevin Marshall, go off. Nate Webster comes right back in. It looked like, I saw the same thing, Frank. It looked like he just needed some tape on his hand or something. Like maybe he got a stinger and he had to come out for a play.
Sedano picked up 3 on the last carry, 2nd and 7, with 6:50 left to go third quarter. And this game can't be over soon enough for the Hurricanes. McNabb checking off. They get the D. Brown. Brown bursts through to the 10-yard line. Al Blades and Nate Webster making the tackle. It'll bring up a 3rd and about 3.
Just a quick hitter, a draw play comes right up the middle, but watch it move right there to the right side. D. Brown makes a lot of people in white jerseys miss, and you see the aggressive tackle by Al Blades, and number 52, Nate Webster, brings up a 3rd and about 3 yards to go at about the 9-yard line, Frank. A big stand for Miami here.
Clock approaching 6 minutes to go third quarter. Hughes in the standard I set. Johnson in motion. Fake to Brown. McNabb on the rollout. Has his fullback Sedano wide open inside the 10. And Sedano has a first down as Leonard Myers pushed him out of bounds around the 5-yard line.
Well, it's just getting more and more frustrating for this Miami football team, especially this defense, who really can't come up with an answer for Donavan McNabb. He's beat him on the option play. He's beat him running the football. And now he beats him with just a little dump pass to the backup fullback, Nick Sedano. Just drops it over. A nice catch up top. Good hands by the backup fullback. And then watch him lower his shoulder. You see number 22, Leonard Myers, there for the stop, but not until he gets to the 5-yard line and a first down.
Syracuse trying to cash in the turnover off the Scott Covington fumble. They'll go with the full house backfield, everybody in tight. Mungro moving the pile. Rod Mack pulls him backwards and then gets some help. Mungro got about 2. Just inside the 4-yard line. And now Syracuse comes back in with a second tight end and 2 wide receivers. Look at James Mungro, freshman out of East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. 5'10", 191 pounds. John, I'll tell you that the difference in this program, I went to school here 20 years ago when they had Archbold Stadium, an outdoor old decrepit stadium, and when they put this dome up in 1979, that changed everything as far as Syracuse football is concerned. They were able to recruit, get a lot better athletes. On 2nd and goal, McNabb on the rollout. Firing back the other way, tight end Mike Bennett all alone, touchdown.
It doesn't get much easier than that. You see Donavan McNabb bring everybody to the short side of the football field, and then Mike Bennett, number 88, slips out behind everybody for the touchdown.
It's one of their favorite plays down in the red zone. Roll one way, throw back to the tight end. That's the play they beat Virginia Tech with on the final play of the game.
Well, it's a great design. You see everybody to the short side of the field. You think McNabb's going to push the issue and get to the corner. All he does is pull up and just lob the pass back to a wide open Mike Bennett for the Syracuse score.
Nate Trout on to attempt the conversion. That is one of their favorite plays. Their tight end Brominski has 5 touchdowns on 10 catches coming in. That's Mike Bennett's first catch of the year, and it goes for a touchdown. Trout's conversion is good, and with 4:57 left to go in the 3rd quarter, it's 52-10 for Syracuse.
It doesn't get much easier than this. Miami feels like they're in the right position, but they let the tight end slip out. McNabb lobs it in for the touchdown.
Donavan McNabb, his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. He scored 3 on the ground for the tight end to get lost in traffic and then come wide open. Mike Bennett has the touchdown. 4:57 to go in the 3rd. It's Syracuse 52, the Hurricanes 10.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's databank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your free information, call 1-800-338-9999. What happens when you take a leader in regional sports and combine that with the best sports news and information service on the globe? You get Sports Channel Florida. Sports Channel and CNNSI have teamed up to bring you the best live regional sports coverage of the Florida teams that matter to you, and the diverse world of sports with the power of CNN and the insight of Sports Illustrated. Turn to Sports Channel for CNNSI and get your fill of 100% pure Florida sports.
Back at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, the scoring drive for the Orangemen, 36 yards in 7 plays, 2:37 off the clock. Donavan McNabb to Mike Bennett for the touchdown. That followed a Scott Covington fumble. He was sacked, fumbled, and Mark Pilon made the recovery. His brother Jeff plays offensive line for the Orangemen. So the McIntoshes and the Pilons, a couple of brother combinations for Syracuse. Short kick, fielded by Edward Reed, runs into Bubba Franks, and then he's going to go down at about the 31-yard line. Willie Ford making the tackle for the Syracuse special teams. So they're keeping it away from Najee Davenport after that big return to start the 2nd half. Syracuse on their way to the Big East title for the 2nd year in a row. They will be the Beast of the East.
And it's a pride thing for Miami right now, down 52-10 with 4:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. They desperately want to keep the Syracuse Orangemen off the scoreboard for the rest of this game, and they want to try to find a way to make a couple touchdowns to get on the scoreboard so it looks a little bit more respectable. And here's the way right now.
Edgerrin James at midfield and finally run down by Jason Poles at the Syracuse 47-yard line. A gain of 22 on 1st down for Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James does a nice job on the counter play. Watch him just bounce it outside, then use his speed to get around the corner. He's going north and south, finally outruns linebacker Keith Bullock. That's the first time they've been able to run away from Stan Gibbs and Keith Bullock really all afternoon for a big gain. 1st and 10 Miami in Syracuse territory.
James, the lone running back, has the football. Through a crease, flag down. This one's going to come back as he got to the 39-yard line, but they're going to get Miami for holding.
It's either on Damon Neely or Robert Hall. Somebody on that left side was caught holding, and that will come back, Frank.
Let's take another look, see if we can pick up who it was. The left side of the offensive line. Yeah, it's Robert Hall with the takedown on Duke Pettijohn.
Can't do that, especially when you make a good play on first down on the counter play. You come back and you make a bad play. Just maybe Robert Hall not in position with his feet, tries to get a little bit lazy, and he gets really caught for the takedown.
Well, mark off 10. And then it'll be 2nd and 20. The foul occurred right about the line of scrimmage. Robert Hall, he's 6'4". In fact, that's his nickname, 6'4". The junior out of Houston, Texas, really has solidified the left tackle position this year. But having a bit of a rough time today against this Syracuse defense.
And as you said earlier, he's not the only one.
First down, call it 21 from the Miami 42. Straight drop for Covington. Over the middle to Franks. He bobbled it and dropped it. I mean, you wonder, John, if their heads are into the game right now, and you can hardly blame them for not being, but it seems like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. To take nothing away from Syracuse, they've been a juggernaut today, but even when the Canes have had a chance to make plays, they find a way to mess it up.
You're right, and I would give more credit to Syracuse. The way they came out and opened this football game up, they came out with a purpose, and they really executed everything they wanted to do in the first quarter. They got up on Miami early, got the crowd into it, took Miami completely out of their game plan, and now your result is 52-10.
2nd and 21. Blitz coming. James with the football. And James gets up across the 45 to the 48, 49-yard line. Picked up about 7, and it'll bring up 3rd and 15. There's the numbers on Edgerrin James as he approaches 100 yards and would keep the streak going of 100-yard games. He's had 4 in a row.
Yeah, workmanlike effort today for Edgerrin James. Nothing's been easy for him running the football, and I'm sure it's going to get tougher with 3:30 left to go in the third quarter.
3rd and 15. Covington steps up. Covington's going to run the football across midfield to the Syracuse 44, where Kevin O'Neal, the backup linebacker, runs him down. O'Neal, the son of Ed O'Neal, who played in the NFL for the Detroit Lions, and Miami sends the punting unit onto the field.
Nice job by the secondary of Syracuse. They had everybody in the right spot in coverage, nowhere to throw the football. Covington tries to step up and make a play with his ability to run the football. Gets caught from the side, it looked like by number 27 for Syracuse, Kevin O'Neal.
Crossland's punt. Johnson will let it hit, and Miami, could they keep it in? No, reach the end zone. That's a touchback. That's a touchback. Well, Delvin Brown tried to keep it from breaking the plane, and in college football, remember, all the football has to do is break the plane. If you throw it back from the end zone, it doesn't count as it does in the pros.
Right, Delvin Brown tried to do a good job of keeping the football in play, but I think right here, there you see Nate Brooks, his feet were on the line, and the ball was even across the line at that time.
The ball touched his body while he was across the plane. It looked like it touched his knee when he tried to throw it back in. So the Orange will take over 1st and 10, and surprisingly, McNabb is still in the ball game.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be his last series of this afternoon, but you're right, Frank. He does trot onto the field with the score of 52-10.
2:46 left to go, third quarter. I would think this would be a good chance to get Made Williams some time, because he's going to have to take over next year at quarterback, and he's only a freshman. McNabb on the give. McIntosh bouncing off tacklers, still going, and gets up close to 10 yards. Al Blades in on the tackle along with Derek Ham.
Well, for 5'8", coming back in the backfield, you see Kyle McIntosh. He just scorched through the middle. Watch him break tackles. You see Brooks, instead of really wrapping up McIntosh, he lowers his shoulder. He runs right through that, and he goes all the way down for a big 9-yard gain, but McIntosh really playing bigger than his size.
Definitely so. 2nd and a couple of inches. Sedano to fullback, and that play blown dead before it got started. Jim McConaughey, our referee, will sort it out with 2:03 left to go in the third quarter. Crowd at the Carrier Dome just basking in the glory.
Red ball. Ball start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty
of this impending Big East championship.
Well, we talked about how Miami got their way. They fought their way to get into this position, but Syracuse really came back against Virginia Tech late in the game, winning it really on the last play of the football game to get in a position for this showdown today.
And Miami taking care of business since they lost the Big East opener to Virginia Tech. And I know the folks at Virginia Tech are ruining that Temple game.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, they'd be the conference champion.
That's right.
After the penalty, it's 2nd and 5. McNabb fakes the handoff. Still has the football.
Wide open.
Deep down the field, Kevin Johnson, and he overthrew him at the 45-yard line. Edward Reed coming back on the coverage. But when McNabb has that much time, John, it is so hard to stay in coverage.
Well, what happens is you're timing up, you're trying to anticipate his throw, but he's got so much athletic ability and he holds on to the football so long that you're out of position by the time he's ready to throw the football. Edward Reed came up and tried to time up the throw, but all Johnson did was let him go by him and then turn it upfield and try to make a big play.
You saw Chuck Pagano, the defensive backs coach, going, get back, run with the receiver. Don't leave your coverage when you're the deep guy. 3rd and 5. 1:38 to go, third quarter. It's been Syracuse from start to finish. Miami shows blitz, and here they come. McNabb trying to create some magic. Got away from Rod Mack. Penalty flag down. Firing downfield, and that ball is caught by Jackson. Maurice Jackson hauled down by Edward Reed. Now there's a penalty flag back at the Syracuse 24-yard line.
I think they're going to get caught for holding, but what an athletic play. What an ad-lib by Donavan McNabb.
I'll say it one more time. The kid is an absolute magician. He is the closest thing to Houdini in pads. Personal foul against Syracuse. One more time. At the athletic ability, the escapability of Donavan McNabb.
Well, watch how much time he buys himself. You think he's going to run now. He's got about 5 white jerseys surrounding him. He outruns Rod Mack right there, and now he has enough presence to find someone down the football field. And credit his receivers, too. They always keep the play alive because they know he has an opportunity to get rid of the football, and they can make a big play.
Miami has not sacked McNabb today. The personal foul will cost Syracuse 15. And it'll bring up 3rd and 20. Been a long day for Butch Davis and his coaching staff. And his staff really has been outguessed in a lot of situations. A lot of good calls by the Syracuse coordinators, both offensively and defensively.
And they haven't been on the right side of Lady Luck today either, because every bounce that could have happened to have a big play go from Miami's way really went Syracuse's way.
Syracuse with 3 wide receivers. McNabb down the middle and overthrows everybody. Edward Reed thought he had an interception, but McNabb threw it even too high for him. So only the 2nd punt of the day upcoming for Doug Duncan and the Syracuse special teams, with 54 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Duncan's kick. Nice high driving kick. Santana Moss at his 38. Good block there. There goes Santana Moss, and the penalty flag comes in late. They are going to get Miami for an illegal block as Moss marked out at the 25-yard line, but this will come back into Miami territory at about the 48 after they mark off 10.
Yeah, Miami trying to get the head on the right side of those knockout shots, but somebody gets caught going down the Miami sideline. A nice run back gets nullified by Santana Moss. Watch him. He takes off as soon as he gets it to the Miami sideline. Now take a look at these blocks to the outside. You're going to see 1 there and 2 more right here. That might have been the call right there. Not on that one. I think that was a clean block.
By Aaron Mosher. Yeah.
The first one was the block it looked like that they caught Miami on.
They'll mark it off 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which is the Syracuse 42, as Donavan McNabb, and his day I would assume would be over by now. I mean, why would you not get your freshman quarterback, who's got to play next year, some experience at this point?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I didn't think I'd see him the last series. Maybe he was just going to finish out the third quarter and then sit the fourth quarter, but he's had an exceptional day to go along with his exceptional career.
Penalty will put it back on the Miami 48-yard line, and Kenny Kelly is now the Miami quarterback. Speaking of getting your freshmen some experience. Kenny Kelly on the season, 23 of 35, a 65.7% completion mark with 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. 3 wide receivers in for the Hurricanes. Santana Moss in motion. Give is to James Jackson across midfield. Jackson 40. And finally dragged down by Jason Poles with help from Quentin Harris at the Syracuse 37-yard line. Back Jackson picking up 15 on the first down play.
Miami's had some big plays offensively. They just haven't had enough to stay with Syracuse. You see there, James Jackson comes in the ball game for Edgerrin James, and that's his forte. He'll come in and rip off some big runs. He's averaging close to 7 yards per carry every time he touches the football. So that's what he does best, make big plays.
24 seconds left to go third quarter. Darrell Jones in motion. Jackson again. Jackson to the 30. Tripped over a body, looked like Stan Gibbs. But Jackson will pick up close to 7 yards, and that'll do it for the third quarter as the clock winds down. 7 points for Syracuse in that quarter, 3 for Miami, a lot more reasonable, but way too little for the Hurricanes. They'll go to the fourth quarter trailing it by a score of 52-10. We'll be back with fourth quarter action on Sports Channel right after this.
Kicking off Sports Channel's impressive lineup of football coverage every Sunday is Dolphins Magazine. Take an in-depth look at the Dolphins' opponent and game plan. Dolphins Magazine every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on Sports Channel's Sunday Morning Playbook. Sunday Morning NFL isn't your regular Sunday sports desk. It's your source for information about Florida's 3 NFL teams. Sunday Morning NFL every Sunday on Sports Channel. Brought to you in part by Pro Player Apparel.
Sports Channel is your home for NFL football Florida style. Minutes of in-depth pregame coverage of the Dolphins, Buccaneers, and Jaguars. It's all on Sunday Morning NFL every Sunday at 10 a.m. exclusively on Sports Channel Florida. A look at the numbers through 3 quarters and a little more reasonable in the rush yardage because Syracuse had over 200 at halftime. But look at the passing yardage for Miami, just 61 yards in the air, John.
Yeah, and that's something Miami really has done a good job. Scott Covington's averaging 213 yards a game, and today they come out and they really lay an egg. Give a lot of credit to Syracuse and the pressure they put on the passer. Miami's offensive line really wasn't able to keep up with the pressure that they put on the Miami quarterback.
Second and a long 3 to begin the fourth quarter. James Jackson with the football. Stood up at the line of scrimmage, will squeeze about a yard out of it. But Stan Gibbs hit him in the hole and drove him back. A look at Kenny Kelly, the redshirt freshman quarterback, 6'3", 188 pounds, a freshman out of Tampa, Florida. And, of course, an outfielder in the Tampa Bay Devil Rays organization during the summer.
Kenny Kelly, I thought, has performed well during the season, and when he's gotten opportunities to come into the football game and be productive, and I think Butch Davis has allowed him to come in and throw the football, just not come in and be a robot and hand the football off.
Third and still about 2.5 for Miami. They have to get it just inside the 27. And flags fly as looked like Robert Hall false started for the Hurricanes.
You called it, Frank. It looked like his right or left arm actually moved or flinched just before Kenny Kelly was calling for the football, and that's what the near side official saw.
So Miami changes the offensive personnel package. They'll bring in a couple of wide receivers, Mosier and Moss.
5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. We'll keep it down.
Miami's lone touchdown today coming from Edgerrin James. Watch the right part of the screen, number 77.
His left hand and left arm,
yep,
you see him just flinch outside.
Well, that'll cost Miami 5, and it'll bring it to 3rd and 7. I don't know if anybody's left this building, John.
No.
This place is still full. Onto a Fulcher in motion. Kelly under a blitz. Throws it underneath and incomplete, and flags fly as McIntosh will be called for one more penalty. Aaron Mosier, the intended receiver, and McIntosh prevented him from coming back to the football.
Yeah, Kenny Kelly had a lot of heat in the pocket back there, and Ian McIntosh, the cornerback. We talked about the Syracuse corners. They've been in perfect position all day long. This time there's some contact going along down the football field, but watch the heat, watch the duress that Kenny Kelly's under. You see a lot of blue jerseys in the backfield. He gets hit from behind. He tried to step up and throw the football, but an ISO on the outside on Mosier. You see the contact right away. The ball's behind, so he goes to stop. You see the right hand of Ian McIntosh pull Mosier back towards the football, and that was the penalty.
They're booing, but I think that's a pretty clear call right there.
Yeah, they're bored. They don't have anything
that's
to do.
True, that's true.
It's 52-10. You might as well boo.
13:51 left to go, fourth quarter. Look at the Miami numbers, and Edgerrin James, who probably will not play again in this game. 15 carries for 90 yards, a 6-yard average, but that'll stop a streak of 4 straight 100-yard games. 1st and 10, inside the Syracuse 20. Jackson, the lone running back, has the football. Goes outside, picks up about 3. Stan Gibbs with the initial contact, and then helped out by Quentin Harris. Syracuse pretty much with a lot of the first-team defensive guys still in the football game.
You see, they're looking at the secondary. Jason Poles, a strong safety, still in there. Will Allen's in there. You see Gibbs, number 31. I believe Bullock's in there, too, still, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, he is. Pettijohn, Pilon, the starting defensive ends. It's pretty much the starting defense out there, so they're not giving in at all. Second and call it 8. Kelly faking to Jackson. Throws outside, and that one batted down by Will Allen. Going for Santana Moss, and I'll tell you what, Santana's had a real tough time getting open today.
There's been no separation on the outside, and Santana Moss has a lot of speed, and he usually runs nice routes and gets in and out of the routes with a lot of quickness. Today, you can see the cornerbacks are just reading the quarterback through the receiver. They're outside, and they're breaking on the ball as soon as the receiver's shutting down, so there's really no threat of going by the defensive back. And that's the cushion has not been closed, and they don't feel like they're in a presence where they have to turn their hips and bail out. The cornerbacks for Syracuse have done a terrific job.
Kelly's going to have to hurry. There's only 7 on the play clock. Syracuse showing blitz. Here they come. Kelly stumbles, trying to get away.
He's got a wide open Bubba Franks in the middle of the field if he can find him.
Kelly firing toward the end zone. Ball batted down. Will Allen making the play again. Bubba Franks, as you said, was wide open in the middle of the field, but Kenny had too many bodies in front of him and was just trying to run for his life.
He just couldn't gain enough balance to find him and set himself to throw it down the football field. You see Kenny Kelly comes back and he trips over the back. It looked like number 21, James Jackson. They hook up ankles and they trip, but Bubba Franks is jumping up and down in the middle of the football field, but Kenny Kelly's got problems of his own. He's trying to just get enough time to get rid of the football, and then you see the breakup about the goal line by Will Allen.
So Andy Crossland will try a 36-yard field goal. Popovich to hold. Crossland's kick, plenty of distance and plenty of accuracy. And with 12:50 left to go in the fourth quarter, it's Syracuse 52, Miami 13. One more look at Santana Moss working on Will Allen and just trying to ad-lib and give Kenny Kelly something to throw to.
Yeah, there were receivers open down the field, but at the same time, Kenny Kelly was trying to run away from about 4 blue jerseys and give himself some separation just to get it downfield to those guys. And Butch Davis goes to kick the field goal. Andy Crossland kicks it to make the score 52-13, and now he gets into that defensive special teams, or actually the kickoff cover huddle.
Chuck Pagano, the assistant coach, to the left of the screen, and handling the kickoff coverage unit. It's been a long day for Butch Davis and his staff, and Syracuse jumped out to a 17-0 lead. Miami cut it to 17-7, but Kevin Johnson took the ensuing kickoff and went 100 yards, and that really, I think, broke the backs and broke the spirit of the Hurricanes of any comeback attempt that they had in mind.
Well, it was a huge disappointment because they played so hard and so tough to get to this position. They come back with a scoring drive there, orchestrated by Kenny Kelly. 7 plays, 34 yards, and a cross and 36-yard field goal. But Butch Davis and this team and this staff put themselves in a position to really win the Big East Conference today, to come out on the road and beat a very veteran team on the road, which is tough to do. And Donavan McNabb would have none of it. He was really the ringleader that started up the band playing for Syracuse right from the get-go. Every bounce went Syracuse's way, and give Syracuse a lot of credit. They came out and executed in the first quarter.
And I'll say it again, to go from 5-6 last year to conference champions, I think was asking too much of this particular football team. They're still in a rebuilding stage. And, 7 victories can cover up the fact that they are still building back toward that scholarship limit, and they don't have a lot of depth in certain positions. And so I think, 7 wins, it's an improvement, and it certainly steps forward from last year. But to expect them to go from 5-6 to conference champion, in my opinion, was asking a little too much of this particular football team.
And this is such a young team. They're so unpredictable. We're not sure that they don't come out against UCLA and get all the right bounces and get that fever of playing at home and get excited about how disappointing this was, and they want to erase this. They might not even watch this tape. They might just throw this one away.
Yeah, Butch might throw this right in the garbage can.
And go right to UCLA, because that's the main focus of this team right now.
High short kick. Bennett, the tight end, hit right away by Najee Davenport at the 29-yard line. Najee turning into a tackling machine today.
Well, he figures if I'm not going to get the run to football, I'm going to run it on special teams, and I'm going to go down and tackle people and make people pay. At least he's taking his frustration out on the blue jerseys. He's doing a good job today on special teams.
I don't think we've seen him on the kickoff coverage team prior to this game, but he's been in there. Had one big kickoff return in the third quarter. 6 kickoff returns for Davenport today, 162 yards and a 52-yarder in that third period.
And number 5 is still in there.
This is baffling to me. I know it's senior day and everything, but hasn't he done about everything he can do? Give to D. Brown. Brown trying to turn the corner, and Edward Reed is going to bounce him out of bounds at the 30-yard line, gain of a yard. I mean, I know you want to give McNabb his props, but you've got a freshman quarterback waiting in the wings. Why not give him experience in a game you're leading by 39 points?
And you're not really going to throw the football. You're just in there really handing the football off. So, yeah, it's kind of puzzling to me too, Frank. For one thing today we are agreeing on is this call, right?
That's for sure. Syracuse going with the full house backfield. A look at McNabb's numbers in the air. McNabb still with the football. Now pitches it out to Mungro, and look out. Mungro down the sideline, cuts back in, and Al Blades drops him at the Miami 34-yard line.
Well, that was a nice play by the Syracuse offense, but Nate Brooks, number 2, really took himself out of the play. He goes right into the blocker instead of cutting in. Take a look at the left side of your screen. You'll see number 2, the cornerback for Miami. Instead of going to the football and giving himself up, he goes right into the blocker on the outside. He takes the easy route. He goes around the right side instead of knifing inside and trying to make something happen. That wasn't a good play on the corner.
At the Miami 34-yard line. 36 yards on the gain by Mungro, the freshman from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Mungro again. Into the middle of the pile. Damian Lewis has him. And helped out by Michael Smith. It's a gain of 3. Bring up 2nd and 7 with 11 minutes and 16 seconds left in the football game. There's Mungro, 4 carries, 41 yards. And John, the disappointing thing for the Miami defense, among others, is that they've allowed Syracuse. Well, now they're going to call timeout. It looks like they're going to take McNabb out of the game. So Paul Pasqualoni waited, called timeout, and you can see how the Syracuse players react to Donavan McNabb. He's been a starter for 4 years. It seems like a lot longer than that, John. We were talking on the way up to this game. When you look back at a guy who started for 4 years and has the same demeanor, the same mannerisms as a Marvin Graves, it seems like he's been here for a decade.
You're right. He deserves everything he's getting from this Syracuse crowd. It's exactly the way he started the football game when he came out and he was announced The last guy, one of the last seniors announced for Syracuse today, came out, got the crowd excited, and he delivered to 50,000 plus today in the Carrier Dome. Did a great job leading his team to a victory.
So with 11-11 left to go in the fourth quarter, Donavan McNabb has seen his last action at the Carrier Dome. One of the best quarterbacks in all of America. I'm surprised he hasn't been mentioned more in the Heisman Trophy. I guess when you lose a couple games early in the season, that kind of takes away from what the Heisman guys are looking for.
I think the Heisman thing's kind of a little bit screwed up the way they view it. I mean, a guy like this, his team loses to NC State and he has a bad afternoon. You see today, 3 rushing, 2 passing TDs. I don't know how they evolve to how they vote on the Heisman, but this guy, I haven't seen a better player in the country alone, on a team that it's a team sport. You go out and you can do this to a defense that is a very aggressive and a very fast defense.
I'm not saying he should win the Heisman. I think Ricky Williams and Michael Bishop are both guys that deserve the Heisman Trophy, but I think McNabb should certainly be mentioned along with those guys.
Well, it's funny how you get out of the graces of the Heisman voting with one bad performance. The same way with Cade McNown. He doesn't go for big yards the last couple of weeks, and he's out of the Heisman race.
The ovation for Donavan McNabb. He has meant an incredible amount to this program. A senior from Dolton, Illinois. And Paul Pasqualoni looks back on the day he signed Donavan McNabb and says,
"Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody was looking out for me." There is the McNabb family. Very proud mother and father. Every right to be. Monty Williams into the game. A freshman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he will run the Orange offense. Mungro leaping over the pile. Damian Lewis had him around the ankles, and Mungro picks up another 3. It'll bring up 3rd and about 4.
Well, for Miami right now, you can't have the clock run fast enough just to get out of town, load up the plane, and try to forget about this one with 10:50 and counting in this fourth quarter. Syracuse up 52-13, and it's been all Orange from the get-go.
All I know is we better hustle downstairs or the bus might leave without us. On 3rd and 4. Mungro again. Mungro moving the pile, and he's going to pick up the first down, it appears. Dan Morgan made the tackle, but not until after Mungro had picked up the yardage necessary for a first down.
Move the pile indeed. Number 23, Mungro. You see him, James Mungro, the running back for Syracuse, just some tough inside running. Moves the pile. Looked like about 4 or 5 white jerseys hanging on, but it continued to go towards the Syracuse goal line.
Pat Woodcock into the game along with D. Brown, that wide receiver for Syracuse. Butch Davis will have to pick up the pieces from this one and take on undefeated UCLA next week at the Orange Bowl. Full house in the backfield. And Monty Williams will call a timeout. With 10:04 left to go, fourth quarter. Syracuse in the lead at 52-13. We'll be back at the Carrier Dome after this on Sports Channel.
Do you believe the old way of buying gas is dead? We do. Speed Pass from Mobil. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump, and like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobil, lets you take wing.
Kick off your Sundays with your own tailgate party at your house. Each week during the football season, Heineken will select 4 winners to receive an at-home tailgate party, complete with food and plenty to drink, and they'll even let you borrow a big screen TV, compliments of sound advice. Just stop by participating Heineken retail locations and fill out an entry form. Then tune into Sports Channel's Sunday Morning NFL to see who the weekly winners were. You could be next. Kick off your Sundays with Heineken. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 years of age or older to enter. See participating retailers for official rules.
6th annual HIP Golf Classic to benefit the University of Miami Student Athlete Scholarship Fund will be held Monday, January 18th at the Weston Hills Country Club. Great golf for a great cause. Call 305-284-2491 today for your spot in the annual HIP Golf Classic. That's at the Weston Hills Country Club. 1st and 10 for Syracuse. Mungro getting the corner. Mungro at the 10, hauled out by Al Blades at the 7-yard line. Chevin Marshall couldn't get the corner cut off quickly enough. And Mungro has the Syracuse first down.
Nice speed on the outside by the reserve backfield of Syracuse. Mungro, take a look to the outside. Number 41, Marshall. Chevin Marshall can't catch up, and then he makes a nice cut to the inside. Once he gets inside the 10-yard line, he runs the ball about, I believe he ended up around the 7-yard line, Frank. So a nice run again on first down by Mungro.
It's been a tough day for the Miami defensive ends and the linebackers on the perimeter. That's been a very disappointing aspect of today, that Syracuse has beaten them to the corner. And not a lot of teams do that. First down from the 7, 1st and goal. The fullback, Sedano. Sedano toward the goal line, just shy of the goal line.
All the linemen are trying to put their hands up in the air because I don't think Nick Sedano has reached the goal line this season. So they're trying to get that fullback, the reserve fullback, in the end zone, but it looks like he's going to come up just about a half of a yard short.
It'll be 2nd and goal. Nick Sedano, 6'1", 252-pound junior from Brook Park, Ohio. Only 11 carries coming into the game, and as you said, no touchdowns. So we'll see if they try to get him one here. And Michael Lawson jumps into the neutral zone and offside. With 9:14 left to go. And right now it must seem interminable to Butch Davis.
Oh, and number 97, Michael Lawson, you see him trying to tiptoe down the line of scrimmage after he makes contact with the center, Corey Bowden. That's got to frustrate Butch Davis and really make him look at that defense and say, come on, guys, just try to get it out of here. 9-12 and counting to go. Try to keep him out of the end zone, but this has gotten way out of hand.
2nd and goal. Sedano, the fullback, touchdown. And it's now 58-13. Boy, this is a game that'll really skew the defensive statistics for the Hurricanes.
It really will, and you see that McNabb's clapping of the Syracuse offense gets in to the end zone again. The first time this year for Nick Sedano, right up the middle. Syracuse following the blocking of Bowden, Kiernan, and Burton, the guards and center, right up the middle, pushing Miami back into the end zone. Another touchdown for Syracuse pushes the score to 58-13.
Well, Nate Trout on to attempt his 8th conversion of the day. And Trout now 57 of 57 on the season. With 9 minutes exactly to go in the 4th quarter, Syracuse 59 and Miami 13. A tremendous disappointment for the Hurricanes. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back at the Carrier Dome after this.
It's no surprise that kids are catching on to the net.
Hello, Brian. How was your science project?
Or that a company would volunteer to connect schools and develop a resource that helps them discover their world.
I'm starting to love volcanoes.
What may be news is who created this education gateway. It wasn't AT&T or MCI. It was Bell South.
Back to work, Romeo.
From big business to education, we put you at the head of the class.
What happens when you take a leader in regional sports and combine that with the best sports news and information service on the globe? You get Sports Channel Florida. Sports Channel and CNNSI have teamed up to bring you the best live regional sports coverage of the Florida teams that matter to you, and the diverse world of sports with the power of CNN and the insight of Sports Illustrated. Turn to Sports Channel for CNNSI and get your fill of 100% pure Florida sports.
Catch all 82 fast-paced, bone-crushing Panthers games exclusively on Sports Channel. Then on Sundays at 11:30 a.m., join Jeff Rimmer on Panthers Weekly. Panthers Weekly previews and reviews every game, every week, only on on Sports Channel Florida.
Eight plays, 71 yards, capped off by Nick Sedano's 1-yard touchdown run. 3 minutes and 45 seconds consumed. Started off by Donavan McNabb and finished out by Monty Williams at quarterback for Syracuse, as Donavan McNabb went off to a tremendous ovation from the crowd here in the Carrier Dome as Syracuse on their way to the Big East Championship. Short kickoff fielded by Bubba Franks. Look at Bubba go, 50, and Nate Trout cuts him down in Syracuse territory. The ball came out, but that was clearly caused by the ground.
Yeah, he was down. Chance to see Bubba Franks in the open field, though. He looked pretty quick for a big guy.
And Nate Trout, the kicker, sacrificing the body and bringing down Big Bubba.
Yeah, some of the kickers for Syracuse have paid the price today. Nate Trout and Peter Ferris, he left earlier with a neck injury. You see Bubba Franks just lowering his shoulder, and clearly he was over the kicker, and the ball was caused by his contact of the turf, not the collision of the tackle.
So from the Syracuse 42-yard line, Miami will start 1st and 10. Kenny Kelly, the running back, and Edgerrin James is back in the ball game. And James has the football and fumbles it. Picked up by Syracuse, and it's the orange ball. Jason Poles came up with the recovery.
Well, you stand on the sidelines that long, you get kind of cold, and you lose your concentration in a game like this, and that would look like a pretty bad exchange between quarterback and running back. I don't think you can hang that on Kenny Kelly. I think he put the ball where it needed to be. Let's take another look and see if we can take a look. He puts it right through. It just slips right through the stomach of Edgerrin James and right into the waiting arms of number 7, Jason Poles, the strong safety, the starting strong safety for Syracuse. And you see Butch Davis's reaction going, he just can't believe what's happened to his football team today.
4th turnover for Miami. Just exacerbating the problems they've had offensively and defensively and on special teams. I mean, just problems everywhere today. Monty Williams, the tailback, or the quarterback, with James Mungro at tailback. From the Syracuse 39, Mungro dancing in the hole and picks up, still going. Slipped out of a couple of tackles. Finally brought down by Rod Mack and Chevin Marshall. At the Syracuse 42, call it the 43. Pickup of 3.5 on 1st down, and 8:30 left to go in the game. And
I was surprised today by Kyle McIntosh's explosiveness and his power, you know, early on when the things were kind of in hand, if they ever could be in this football game. McIntosh ran exceptionally well, and you see some of the other guys, some of the other seniors, Kevin Johnson and Kyle McIntosh coming out of the football game, and number 61, Scott Kiernan, the starting left tackle, or left guard for the Orange, coming out to an applause.
Mungro got away from Michael Lawson, but then Al Blades fills on the run support, holds it to a gain of a yard.
Al Blades,
up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Al Blades letting some people know that are going to be playing against him for the next 2 or 3 seasons that he's going to be reckoned with, and he'll be a number that you have to watch out for. He's been coming with authority from the defensive secondary.
Needs some helmet repairs now, too.
He's been using that helmet often, you know, today, and he's done a nice job for Miami coming out and trying to give some effort from that secondary. He hasn't let up one bit from the opening whistle.
3rd down and still 6. Williams will put it up for the first time. Under pressure, and there is Miami's first sack of the day. Michael Barreau hauls down Monty Williams.
Yeah, Barreau finally gets to the quarterback. He's had a lot of pressures on the season. He's gotten close 10 times, but Michael Barreau looked like he came from the bottom of the football screen right there, number 93. First he was flushed out of the pocket by Michael Lawson, and then he gets to the quarterback Williams for a big loss.
So the punting team on for Syracuse with 6:47 left to go in the 4th quarter. Doug Duncan will kick. Santana Moss back at the Miami 25. They're letting the play clock run down. Mike Bennett now will snap it. Looked like a lot of movement along the line, but no flags. Short kick. Moss takes it on one bounce. Got away from Poles. Got away from Allen. And Santana Moss back to the 31-yard line. Klaus and Gibbs combining on the tackle. And it's Miami football at the 31-yard line with 6:16 left to go. Well, John, the problem now for Miami is to be able to refocus for next week because, you know, on the way here we were talking about how this traditionally is the last game of the season in the Big East. And, you know, you have a makeup game next week from Hurricane George. You think of the Syracuse game as the end of the regular season. And nobody's even really thought about UCLA until this point. So now the job is to refocus and try to, you know, put it together for next week.
You're right. And that was before what happened and what transpired today. Now, I don't think they'll have that much of a problem. I agreed with you coming to the stadium that I felt like this was the end. This was it. This is what they fought for all season long. And now that they have to go back and hang a 59-13 loss on their shoulders, I think they should be very focused coming out to practice next week.
Najee Davenport tripped up. Looked like without contact, and he lost a half a yard. We're going to give Corley credit for the tackle, but I'm not so sure Najee just went down on his own. There's Donavan McNabb, and he made his final game in the Carrier Dome a memorable one, accounting for 5 touchdowns, 3 running, and 2 throwing.
He didn't leave anything out today for his final appearance in the Carrier Dome.
That is for sure. And second down, it's Edgerrin James. James bursting up the sideline and run out of bounds at about the 38-yard line of Miami. Career numbers for Donavan McNabb.
77 touchdowns. That's amazing.
8,300 passing yards. Look at the touchdown to interception ratio. I mean, it's hard to imagine somebody doing more for a team and for a program over the space of 4 years that he plays.
Yeah, and add about another 1,000 yards probably for rushing statistics at least. He's been at around 350 or 400 a clip each year.
Third down and about 3 for the Hurricanes. We're going to give it to Edgerrin James. Edgerrin has a first down and more as he gets up close to midfield, still going, and gets into Syracuse territory. And that may put Edgerrin over the 100-yard mark for the day. So he will keep that streak of 100-yard games going, albeit in a very disappointing losing cause today.
Yeah, Edgerrin very disappointed, as well as Butch Davis there and the rest of the coaching staff. You see him getting congratulated for getting over 100 yards on a nice run and a nice effort there, but just a disappointing day all the way around for this Miami team. You see Don Solinger there, the running backs coach, with the towel around his neck, and Chuck Pagano very disappointed in their performance today.
Najee Davenport is the tailback. Kenny Kelly under pressure, going for Mondrell Fulcher, and too well covered the ball, thrown out of bounds. Charles Burton on the coverage. There's Edgerrin James today. And under normal circumstances, that would be a very nice day. 18 carries for 115 yards and a touchdown, but it really means not much, I'm sure, to Edgerrin. He says, you know, 1,000 yards doesn't mean anything to me. The first back in Miami history to do it twice doesn't mean anything. I'm out here to win, go to bowl games, and compete at a very high level. And I'm sure in the locker room today, he'll care not a whit that he got 100 yards.
I would agree with you.
2nd and 10. Kelly straight drop. Kelly firing high, and just that one got away from him. Darryl Jones was open at the Syracuse 40, and that one just flew on Kenny.
Yeah, had a receiver down there on the curl route. You said Darryl Jones, number 1. We haven't mentioned him much this afternoon, but he was open on the curl route. That time Kenny Kelly just lets one fire a bit high. Take a look. He gets a good drop, good depth away, so he had plenty of time to step up and get something in this. Just looked like he dropped his shoulder a little bit, and the ball just kind of floated on him up top. Never came down and never had control of that pass.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10 with 4:56 left to go in the 4th quarter. Kenny Kelly trying to add to the experience he's gained this year. He will be the Miami quarterback next season. Davenport motioning in the backfield. Kelly on a rollout. Under severe pressure, and he's going to go down, and he fumbles. Picked up and running in for a touchdown is number 97, Giovanni Deloach. Adding insult to injury for the Hurricanes. Mark Holtzman made the sack of Kelly, and Giovanni Deloach comes up with a touchdown.
Every bounce has gone right in the waiting arms of a Syracuse, either offensive player or a defensive player. That time, Kenny Kelly gets flushed out of the pocket and really trying to make a Donavan McNabb-like play, trying to reverse his field, but the ball gets really stripped from him by number 53. It looked like Mark Holtzman, and then into the waiting arms. I'm going to make it easy. How about Johnny Deloach? Giovanni goes in for the score. Just another great play by the Syracuse defensive team.
You wonder about the blocking scheme on that, because if it's a designed rollout, you had the offensive tackle pushing the guy wide.
I think it was just Kenny Kelly getting out of the pocket on his own improvisation and really ran into the pressure.
Okay. And there's a Hurricane down in the end zone. And we're obscured from seeing the number. As the medical staff working for the Hurricanes. Could be. Well, let's see if we can pick up a number.
Yeah, you could see the offensive line. I don't know if they were just reacting to Kenny Kelly going outside because all the defensive linemen were running to try to chase him. But there again, another perfect bounce, and we'll see if we can find out who it was on the that's hurt in the looked like Freeman Brown.
Robert Sampson.
Or Robert Sampson, I'm
76.
sorry. 76. Looks like he's down in the back of the end zone.
That's who it is, Robert Sampson, the junior from Brandon, Florida. Well, it's turned into an outright embarrassment, 65-13. There's no other way to put it. Robert Sampson getting to his feet. Head trainer Scott McGonigal with an arm around Robert will escort him off the field. John, it's like an avalanche or a flood. And once it starts, there's just no way to stop it until it's run its course.
And this is a long flood or an avalanche because there's still 4:44 left to go in this football game. The agony's not over yet for Butch Davis and the Miami Hurricanes.
Nate Trout on again. Isn't his leg tired by now?
He's been out there plenty of times today.
65-13. With the extra point upcoming, as Robert Sampson now has reached the Miami sideline. Moving a bit gingerly after the injury. So Miami lost 47-0 last year at Florida State, and that was one of the most embarrassing losses, one of the biggest margins of victory. And right now, Nate Trout trying to make it a 53-point margin. And he does. 4:44 left to go in the fourth quarter. And Butch Davis's team on the short end of a very, very lopsided score. I mean, right from the opening kickoff, or right from the introductions, when McNabb came out and the Syracuse team just looked so fired up. There was so much emotion. And right from that point, I figured it was going to be a tough day for Miami to pull off an upset here. And it has turned out to be exactly that way.
And then with the ease that they went down to get their first score on the option, it just looked like it was too easy. Like this was a Miami team that we hadn't seen this season. And if you'd have told me that Syracuse was going to pin 66 on the board against Miami's defense today, I would have been trying to find people to take that bet.
Absolutely. Well, there's been a blocked punt. There's been 4 turnovers. You know, fumble return for a 5 turnovers, excuse me. Fumble return for a touchdown.
They've scored just about every way you could think of to score, and you have to give credit to the effort and the coaching staff of the Syracuse Orangemen. They've done a great job coming out with the Big East title on the line. They found a way to do it.
Nate Trout will kick it off for Syracuse, and again, Miami still has another game left. The Big East season is over, and they'll finish at 5-2 in the Big East, a 2-game improvement over last season when they went 3-4. But they still have UCLA to face, and Bob Toledo may be licking his chops when he gets a look at this game film.
Well, I tell you what, Miami may want to put some other plays in there and really cut this film up, because this isn't the same team we've taken a look at through the major course of this season.
No, definitely not. I mean, they lost 1 game in overtime to Virginia Tech. They played a very competitive game against Florida State and lost by 12. But this has just been a complete aberration for the Miami team. You wonder, you know, is Syracuse that good, or did Miami just play that horribly today?
You're right.
Davenport.
This guy's played great.
Ajay Davenport still going across midfield and remains on his feet, and the ball comes loose. His own teammate tried to rip it out of his hands. I mean, what is Edward Reed trying to do?
I don't know, and I think Nijay tried to cooperate with the situation and tried to hand it off to him, even though it was going to be a forward handoff. They're trying desperately just to get on the board any way they can, and Nijay has done a sensational job. If you could say someone has been sensational in a 66-13 blowout, Nijay's done his job on special teams. He's had some great returns. He went down and gave great effort on tackling on the special teams. And watch right here at the end of the play,
just tried to
he tries to rip it out and tries to get in for the score.
Ed, you're supposed to do that when the other team has the football.
Young guys do crazy things when in desperate situations, and this situation right now is desperate.
James Jackson in at running back. Kenny Kelly remains the quarterback. Jackson pops up inside, picks up a couple. Mark Pilon, number 95, in on the tackle for Syracuse as the clock runs down to 4:20 left in the game. And Butch Davis says, can we put this in like double speed? Now, Miami, a very young football team, John. They have something like 12 seniors on the team, but really only 6 of those are on the too deep depth chart.
Right.
And so they come back with a very, very young football team next year. And now they're it's called timeout to take Pilon out of the game. Mark Pilon, the senior from Ontario, Canada. And he gets his ovation from the Syracuse crowd. And also Brian Coleman, senior from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. So Pal Pasqualoni using his timeouts in the second half to honor his seniors on senior day. And Syracuse will celebrate a Big East championship in outstanding fashion. 66-13, they lead Miami and will leave no doubt in anybody's mind as to who the Big East champion is. And you have to look back at they lost to West Virginia, did Syracuse, and they came back and on that miracle finish beat Virginia Tech, and that's what really put them in position coming into today. Miami rebounded from an opening loss to Virginia Tech in overtime, rattled off 5 straight wins to put themselves in position to at least compete for the conference title. But the Hurricanes will be going back to a bowl no matter what happens next week. Scott Covington had 2 victories the last 2 weeks, but really didn't look as sharp in these last 3 games as he did through the first 7 of the season. Threw a couple interceptions today. Miami guilty of 5 turnovers this afternoon. 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. Jackson across the 40. Quentin Harris makes the tackle after a pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and almost 3 to go for Miami as we reach the 4-minute mark. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. Look at James Jackson, and who knows, he could be the featured back next year if Edgerrin James decides to leave school after this his junior year.
That's an interesting decision that Edgerrin James is going to have to make coming up in the next couple of months.
You're looking at Jackson and Najee Davenport, which is still a pretty dynamite combination. Jackson again has the first down and more. James Jackson hauled down at the 15-yard line. That will be a Miami first down as James Jackson bursting down the sideline and picking up good yardage. Let's take another look.
Yeah, Kevin O'Neill's the only one separating or holding James Jackson out of the end zone. A nice move there, and he follows a nice block by Nick Williams, number 36, the fullback. But O'Neill reaches out his right arm and really hog ties James Jackson going down the Miami sideline. He gets the ball all the way down to the 14-yard line.
3:26 left to go. Miami trying for a consolation score. It's sort of being like Miss Congeniality in the Miss America contest. Jackson again, following his big fullback Williams, gets inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Number 42, Rodney Wells, the linebacker, making the tackle. There's James Jackson's numbers. We talk about Miami's, well, minus the sack yardage, it's probably going to be a very minimal rushing yardage, but you had James over 100 yards.
It may get James
Jackson at 89.
Yeah.
But empty stats when you're looking at this type of final score. 2nd and 6, and whistles blow, and they'll stop this play before it even gets started. Movement along the Miami offensive front. Robert Sampson holding his hands to his head in despair. So we must assume he is the guilty party. They'll mark off 5 against Miami.
Full start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat the down.
So they'll march off 5 against the Hurricanes, back toward the 15-yard line, just inside the 15. A painful day for Butch Davis. Second and 10. Darryl Jones in motion. Fake to Jackson. To the goal line, incomplete. Looking for Bubba Franks, and Bubba turns around, looks for a flag. He won't get it. Charles Burton on the coverage. Burton, a 6'3", 208-pound freshman from Sugar Land, Texas.
And a big player, yeah, going up against another big guy, Bubba Franks, 6'6", 245. And Kenny Kelly really did the smart thing, trying to get it up high so his tight end could go up and get the football, but just out of his reach.
Bubba Franks and Mondrell Fulcher, the tight ends, they've been really involved in the offense recently, but very quiet today. Third and 10 from just inside the Syracuse 15. Kelly straight drop, under pressure, and incomplete. Well, that's what pressure on the quarterback will do, force you into bad throws.
Yeah, and the bad thing about that route, Darryl Jones, number 1, did such a good job at the line of scrimmage. He beat the cornerback right off the ball. He could have broken his route and just ran a fade route. He had to run a corner route and a curl route and come back to Kenny Kelly right in the face of pressure. Kenny Kelly tries to step up and deliver to him on the curl route, but wasn't able to step into that. Mark Holtzman, the defensive lineman, coming in for the Orangemen.
2:13 left to go. 4th and 10 for Miami. Jones and Moss, the wide receivers. And the crowd urging the Orangemen to keep Miami out of the end zone. Kelly, 3-step drop, fade pattern. He's got Moss wide open, but he overthrew him. The defensive back fell down. Jamont Kynes fell down, and Santana was wide open, and Kenny simply overthrew him.
Yeah, it's one of those that's the way the day has gone for the University of Miami Hurricanes. Nothing has really gone their way. Even when they execute, they get a guy wide open in the end zone. They can't convert on 4th down.
Well, Syracuse will take over at their 15-yard line with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go.
Kenny had plenty of time just to put some air under the football and let Santana run into it. That would have been his easiest touchdown of the season. That would have been his 8th. But Santana knows he can't catch up to that Kenny Kelly pass.
Well, Reggie Wayne hurt during the week, didn't play today. And that certainly handicapped the Miami offense. Certainly didn't make a difference in the outcome of the game. Give to the fullback, and Chevin Marshall wrestled him down right away. Getting his first carry, Kyle Johnson, number 32. And Chevin Marshall held it to a gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd and long. 1:51 to go. But, John, you know, you look at Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss have played very well all year, but they haven't had a touchdown since the Florida State game.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've received a pass for a touchdown.
You know, they haven't needed it in the, you know, Miami's won fairly easily in the interim. But, you know, it's still somewhat disturbing. And again, Covington has not been as sharp the last 3 weeks as he was the first 7 games. Mungro trying to bounce to the outside. Michael Burrow won't let it happen. Loss of a yard. Well, Michael Burrow, number 93. Here's a guy I think has got to play a big role next year because Miami loses Derek Ham, their best defensive end. And really, Quincy Hips, despite his interception today, really hasn't been as consistent as the Miami coaches would have liked. So Miami's going to look for a playmaker at defensive end next year.
And also the guy next to him, I thought has had a productive senior season. That's Michael Lawson, 97. I thought he's done a terrific job, you know, contributing. He's always had knee problems that have really slowed him down, but he's done a nice job for this Hurricane defense as well.
Yeah, he's managed to stay healthy this year, and that certainly helped his productivity. 3rd and 9. Mungro again. Gets across to the 22-yard line. About 3 yards shy of a first down.
That should do it, Frank.
Marquise Fitzgerald on the tackle. And they'll start the play clock with under 25 seconds. So Syracuse does not have to run another play, and that's going to do it from the Carrier Dome. You'll count it down, and a very disappointed Butch Davis, as you see Stephen Brominski, the tight end for the Orangemen, as he completes his senior season. Butch Davis will walk over, congratulate Paul Pasqualoni, and try and pick up the pieces this week as Miami has to go up against UCLA next Saturday at the Orange Bowl. It is finally over. The final score, Syracuse 66, Miami 13. We'll be back to wrap it up from the Carrier Dome right after this. It's Donovan McNabb's day.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of.
Again from the Carrier Dome, Syracuse wins the Big East Championship 66-13 for Miami. Frank Fort, John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. And John, is one of those things that's, I said it before, it's like an avalanche or a flood. You just kind of got to let it run its course. There's no other way to stop it. Syracuse started off hot, never were headed, and Miami never really was in the game.
Well, from the minute they introduced Donovan McNabb as the last senior on the Syracuse team, this place erupted, and it didn't stop. As you said, Frank, it just continued on all three phases of the game. Special teams, they block a kick. Defensively, they make turnovers, and offensively, it was Donovan McNabb leading the charge and leading Syracuse to 66 points today. 5
turnovers by Miami, and Syracuse just goes on a roll. The Orange are the Big East champions. Miami finishes 5-2 in the conference. They drop to 7-3 overall, ending a 4-game winning streak. Thanks for joining us here at the Carrier Dome. Catch more University of Miami football on Sports Channel next Saturday, December 5th at 11:30 p.m. when the Hurricanes return to the Orange Bowl to battle the second-ranked UCLA Bruins. And football fans, don't miss Sports Channel's Sunday morning playbook. It's kickoff at 8:30 with Dolphins Magazine, followed by the Tom Coughlin Show at 9 o'clock and the Jimmy Johnson Show at 9:30. Then at 10 o'clock, it's an hour and a half of in-depth NFL pregame coverage on Sunday Morning NFL. That's all right here on Sports Channel. For my broadcast partner and future member of the PGA Senior Tour, John Congemi, I'm Frank Fort saying goodbye. Once again, the final score, Syracuse 66, Miami 13. So long, everyone.